think they're a strong team, and I'm really excited to see how they do. I think the addition of DH to this squad has been a ton of fun. I know we're going to chat with him about him a little bit more later, but to suggest that they have hardware raising aspirations is a little hard. I love their map pool. I think you take a look at it on your screen now. Sunset is a bit of their playground. They feel really comfortable on there. I think it's going to be a fun matchup. I imagine we'll see that map today in this map pool, but T1 looks strong. I don't know that I'm willing to go as far as to say that they're going on a run.
But just in today, though, in general, you know, against a team that has a sub, who's not even from the region, I really think this is not going to be super difficult for T1. It's there to lose.
Yeah, absolutely. They have more pressure because they know that at least into this matchup they are the favorite team, but also
Demon One
side,
gaming
so it's
today.
kind of like a 50-50 depending on how you look at it. I feel like it's going to come down to, you know, Demon One was saying it when you were talking to him. If they're going to
who's here to watch Demon One and who's here to actually watch the games?
Is it only going to be him
Be honest with
feeling
me, don't lie
what
to me.
Mukashi was doing, or is it going to be something completely different?
I just
I
think
can
for
smell
me,
liars.
DRG, they would have to have a live performance
I see everybody.
to be able to take down T1.
I see everything.
I do think T1 probably the favorite.
What time is it for me?
And you mentioned DH.
Early.
How do we feel about
Like
DH?
8 a.m.
I'm a big fan of DH.
It's so bright.
He's been an injection of life to this team. Again, he's been a ton of fun to
I got a
watch.
couple
Joins
lights
the
going on.
squad for stage 2, and he's been exactly what the team needs. I think, you know, we had this conversation a little bit day one when it comes to rookies debuting on this stage where everything has a little extra shimmer of black and gold and how blinding that can be. But for him, I think this is going to be a really big test as you think about his career development in the long term, and then also today.
I like the way that not only he's finding some opportunities by himself, and that's what makes him so good for
let's
some
not
of the
lag
matches
out.
that we
How about
saw in Pacific, but also the way that in
Oh, that's
the late
production,
rounds
that's
you see
me.
him and Meteor, the way that they're playing together for these post
I don't need that right now.
is so good, and that's, you know, you have DH.
Greetings.
That is, you know, internationally we haven't seen him yet.
Hello,
but he's
everybody.
incredible, and you have Meteor, a
Thanks
player
for the
that you
follow.
know so well, and you know how incredible he's mechanically is. You're set up for success.
I'm not being funny, but I don't think.
Do I
a
commentate?
Korean
I'm
rookie
trying
has
to. I'm trying to figure
ever
out what's
failed
going on.
us at the global stage.
This is my
Yeah.
third
Every
ever
time a team
first
has
live,
brought in
my
a
third ever
Korean,
first
like
live ever,
Caron,
and I'm trying
whoever
to
else, every single time they come
balance,
to a tournament, they are just silver, and they're just ridiculously
writing
good.
scripts plus
And I
streaming
have full
time, whether or not
faith in
streaming is
DH.
actually worth
But
it for
my
me.
question is, Dan, when
So
were
we'll
you
see.
gonna
We're
tell
gonna
us
try and
that you're
focus.
playing for
Yesterday I was
T1?
kind of more
It's your
focused on writing my
issues, right? You're
scripts, and the
DH,
stream
yeah,
really wasn't
like, this is
interactive.
DH,
So
That's
today
the
we're gonna
first
try
thing that
and
when I saw him, and then we might not play the same. There
focus
might be a
more in the
slight
game, so I can give you guys a
difference,
more interactive, like
but,
breakdown of the
it's
game.
okay.
Tiny, yeah, agent pool, maybe, you know.
Just that though.
Just a tiny
Skill
bit
level?
of difference, yeah.
We're good.
I do
Yeah,
think
I'm
there's a
actually
lot to
pretty
be said
pissed
about
we can't
the
see pro
structure that
games,
T1
so
have
it's
for
unlucky.
DH. You know, we were talking about it a little bit earlier.
What do you think
You've
about
got
Envy?
Envy,
Oh, they'll bounce
you've
back,
got
I'm sure.
Buzz, you've got legendary
No need to
heavy
overreact.
hitters on this squad playing alongside him, and I mean, that's the perfect setting and scenario for a rookie.
I also want to say, because obviously we saw Meteor wearing that bracelet there. Kankan has never worn the bracelet. Forsaken told me he wore it once and put it in a safe. Meteor wore it on stream. You know, he was out there flexing with it. So I love the aura coming from him as well. And I also have to mention, they have been boot camping in Europe for a while. They came to Paris early. They wanted to get their preparation in. And just from Scrimbucks I've heard from some
Happy
of the
affiliate
other
anniversary,
EU
wasn't it
teams, obviously
yesterday?
We still had our playoffs. T1 have been extremely good.
What's a better mascot for Valorant? Wingman for sure, because Wingman you can actually play with.
Watch. And I do think there have been times that people have underestimated them a little bit, and the last time that happened, they won a global event. So, you know, I think they're kind of used to being underestimated.
You want
Yeah,
VCT? How does it work?
So
So right now we're in the group stage,
so incredible too,
and 4 teams play against each other, and the 2 top teams move on to playoffs. That's how it
you know,
works.
one of the greatest players that we have in the game, one of the GOATs that we have, and he said, you know, even if I just win this time around, it's something that you need to wait and see for him to win.
It's
in the
like
tournament, for him
ISOX,
to
and then he will
continue
rage
this kind
quit
of
and be replaced
performance
by
that, you know, it can be
Sideshow,
starting
aka
to-
Dr.
Also,
Eggman,
he's
who will acquire the
ageable
ability to
too.
shoot
I mean,
lasers
he's
from his
flexible,
eyes to
but he
kill
does
the
it all.
stupid blue
He's just like
hedgehog.
evolving throughout the year, not even his career, but just
That's
the
quite
year
the script
alone.
though,
Are you
bro.
liking the fact that he's flexing?
Yeah, I think that's part of being a veteran and doing what your team needs you to do and being able to perform regardless of what role you're in. I think Meteor's a ton of fun to watch. And, you know, we highlighted Buzz as well in his career trajectory. And
I look tired? Yeah, I did.
I think this
I did just wake up
should
about 10
not
minutes
be
ago.
slept on for as much as people might hesitate.
What I will say on the other side, because I know
But,
Tom is his favorite player.
I think this will be a good time.
His agent pool is just
I'd like
probably
to
the
disable
craziest
this
thing I've
little
seen,
pop-up
which is
that comes up every
Neon,
time.
Cypher, and Clove. as you do.
Right.
Every time I go over the
why
screen.
not perfectly normal? But what is perfectly normal, of course, is Buzz coming back for his 5th Champs tournament. Mika Fabs had a chance to catch up with him before today's game.
Mika and Bella here with Buzz of T1. Hello, Buzz.
I'm sure you can figure it out real quick.
I'm not sure
Greetings.
how long the team has had to prepare for DRG's newest member, but I'm curious, what do you think T1 has in the bank in order to slay this
Overlay?
demon?
이제 DRG의 새로운 얼굴, 익숙하지만 새로운 멤버가 합류하게 됐는데 K-pop
Let's see if we
디몬
can figure
헌터가
this out
되기
before we
위해
go.
T1이
Before the game gets
어떤
up.
준비를 했는지 듣고 싶습니다. You got that?
Oh, K-pop demon hunter. Oh.
일단은 뭐 저희가 DRG 말고 다른 팀들도 많이 이겨야 되기 때문에 특별하게
I don't
준비하는
know how to
건
like turn that
없고요.
off.
디몬 헌터스도 좋지만 용을 잡는 멋진 용사가 되도록 하겠습니다.
Well, we prepped for everyone that's here at Champ, so we don't have a specific plan for DRG. But hey, you know, it's good to be a demon slayer. It's good to be a demon hunter. But you know, we root higher. We aim for higher. We're gonna.
Let's just go to Twitch instead.
Gotta be golden. Yeah, gotta be golden. Doug is like
I think
on
that was a
another
reference
planet.
that I missed.
You've never seen K-pop Demon Hunters?
No. But I did know it was a reference. I just missed it. Does that
Doesn't count.
Now I can draw on screen,
After
scroll all
tomorrow,
over
we
the
have a
place.
day off, so we'll know what we're doing with Doug. We're gonna watch K-pop Demon Hunters. But we talk about
We're energy
veterans.
win
I can't
champs?
believe
Probably not,
we
but-
could even have a conversation
You look
about
pretty good against
veterans,
CDG.
Doug, without stacks.
the original mouse kiss. He has been around from the very beginning, and you're right. When you think about veterans, maybe he does go a little under the radar, right?
Yeah,
you think
massively.
about Meteor, you think about
Demon 1?
you
almost.
think about
So I think
King
Yuri needs a
Buzz,
nerf
and,
now, he's
then you
fine
go,
anymore.
oh yeah, Stacks. Holy smokes, Stacks. He's been a rock for what feels like almost every team he's been on, and I think he has the potential to be an X factor if and when those other pieces may not be delivering.
Yeah, let's be honest, if there's anyone that's not going to be bothered at all about who is stepping in on the other side, you know, a world champ, whoever you want, it's Stacks.
Have I seen
He
K-pop
doesn't
Demon
care.
Hunters,
He's going to
Loki?
be doing his thing no matter who it is.
Yeah,
So fire.
and he's played so many international events. He's played so many matches. He doesn't care who he's playing against on the other side. I feel like he's just such an incredible leader, and it's something that you see in his face, the way that he's celebrating the rounds, the way that he's sometimes struggling a little bit, and he's on. It's about things that are going wrong.
Loki had me
team,
seeing that
things
shit on my car
he
rides.
might have,
I was blasting that shit through
made
Spotify.
and, you know, if he made a mistake or not. He's just so cool, and I'm so happy that we get to see him in this event.
Wait, I'm actually pissed at us that we've missed like the aura clout battle between these two teams. We talk about like the fried chicken bit. We talk about the mouse kiss, and then we talk about Demon 1 standing on the
you're so
chest.
right.
Like, forget about defaulting and macros and side execs and layering
just aura.
utility. Yeah, I just want an aura clash between these two teams.
And you perfectly segued there
Thank
for the
you.
MasterCard fan poll, because it's time for the result. Earlier, we asked
W soundtrack, yeah,
which
shit's
of
bumping.
the Group D teams you think has the most aura. The results
Give
are
me a little
in,
soda pop.
and you guys said G2 with 45% of the vote, T1 with 22, Heretics with 17, and DRG only
Like a
managing
boy
to get
to
16
be.
despite
That
having
makes no
Demon
sense.
1.
That makes no sense.
I
that
also
pretty
don't
good?
think people have seen the way that like Nick, also Spirit D1, they all have
Something
aura. They all do.
higher.
Not only
Yeah.
Demon 1, but
Must
have you
go
seen their hair
higher.
colors?
Oh,
That's aura
Oh, I just
by
lost viewers.
itself.
They
Like,
need to pick you up. That's like the kind of
yes,
team
I
you
know.
need to join.
I know.
Mike, Cypher
yeah.
Smash?
I
Hell
saw
yeah,
them,
we
I'm
see
like,
Demon
this
1.
is my team.
Yeah.
What?
Peak? Was that good?
I was thinking
Alright.
about G2 winning, and I
Thank
thought,
you. Somebody
I
said
don't
something.
know. And then I remembered they walked onto the stage with Oakleys, and they're decked out in polo Ralph Lauren the whole time.
No, but they have
like,
aura.
Yeah,
Try
that's
hard.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Especially
because can I tell you, I try walking out
I
onto
shouldn't
something
know
like
those
that.
words,
dressed
but
like
when I
that,
listen to it,
I
it's a
look
good
dumb.
time.
They look awesome. It's crazy. I don't
I'm
get
so
it.
stuffed because I just woke up.
I love G2,
Oh my god, this is why I got off
but
Twitch because I don't
also
have
they try
these
hard,
ad
you know,
blockers.
like
That's
they don't have the
embarrassing.
natural aura, but what do I know? Because if we look at predictions, I had a bit of a
wonder if
stinker
I
yesterday. I
can-
was 2-0 and then 2-2, but it looks like there is way more DRG believers than
wonder if I
Heretics believers,
can-
which is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Remove this
we're
before
gonna
we
have some
start.
separation today. I think, at least for me, I can't speak for my peers.
No looking.
I just like to see the world burn sometimes.
Okay.
And so
Okay, I don't
I'm all
show anything.
for a little silly, and that's the
Wait,
reason
did you
for
put
my
Heretics?
DRG.
Wait, what?
No, the DRG pick.
Oh, okay, okay.
I mean,
Cool, I think we got no ads now.
Did so well against Heretics back in Masters Shanghai. Yeah, same
There we
roster,
go.
by the way. Anyway, carry on.
I
No ads.
just think This one was honestly such a hard one, but
I think.
I think I'm gonna
How
go
do I
with,
tell?
Okay, I'm gonna go with T1, but I'm a little scared. I'm scared.
Okay, yeah.
I'm
going
going back
on
and
the
forth.
graphic.
Yeah, I'm going back and forth.
What about the second match? So T1 for the first one?
G2.
G2 for
Obviously
the second
G2.
one? What do you mean obvious? You're talking to me.
Exactly.
Do you feel the rage bait?
Oh,
do you feel it?
goddamn.
It's happening.
I actually do feel it. This is how it feels. But this tournament has been full of surprises so far. Who will survive from Group D? There's only one way to find out. It's time to kick off day 3 of Valorant Champions Paris.
Greetings.
Watching through Twitch and YouTube. Oh my god, you'll go. So what? Oh, yo. Oh my god. Where should I cancel that? Apparently, Skullcap is copying our content, everybody.
Every time we see the big stage, we know that that's where we belong.
Oh, let's watch this first.
The feeling of people in the crowd cheering for you, there's really nothing that compares to it.
I've been at the highest of the high, lowest of the low. I've seen what being a world champ feels like. I've seen what not being able to win anything feels like. But now I'm back, feeling the best I've ever felt in my life. It's Paris now. We're in champs.
We last faced G2 in Shanghai. It's been a pretty long time since then. We've learned a lot, and I hope all of those learnings lead up to champs.
Going against Team Heretics, I feel pretty confident. I'm ready to play this tournament again because they know when I was a world champ, I was unstoppable, and I'm ready to be unstoppable again.
My dream ever since starting Valorant was to win champs, and I'm gonna do everything I can to make that goal a reality.
To win champs, obviously, it would mean everything to me.
EG are your Valorant World Champions!
I did it once, and doing it again would be even a greater achievement. I would say T1 are pretty strong. They have really good aim.
뭐 일단 저희가 어떻게 하는지 대회를 보였으면 다 아시겠지만 저희가 일단은 조금 재밌는 팀이고요. 그리고 이번 챔스를 위해서 준비를 엄청 많이 했어가지고.
I always give my 110 effort to be the best I possibly can. All your time goes into it. You work on your craft. You make sure you're not making the same mistakes. And I literally sacrificed my whole entire soul to be here.
우린 방콕에서 이미 우승으로 증명했었고 T1은 정상을 쫓는 팀이 아니라 정상에 있는 팀입니다.
Pretty cool. Let's see some intros. Apparently, Skullcap is copying my content. We can look at that real quick as they come out. Who am I a fan of? Any NA team. Any on top. So I get signed.
T1 already have a title this year. It's time to see if they can kickstart their journey of winning the one that matters the most. But talk about Return of the King. Demon One is on stage. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting goosebumps seeing him playing again, just in general.
the aura that we talked about from the beginning. I'm so excited to see him play and exactly how he's going to be feeling for this side of Dragon Render Gaming. As we
Alright, Lotus, Sunset. Banger
this
match.
map of Lotus, they played so many times.
Yeah, I mean, the Sunset, Doug, as you rightly said, this is something that we were definitely going to see today. But you got to say, looking at the rest of the maps, it
Real
ain't
quick.
too bad for DR.
Apparently, Skillcap is copying my content, so I want to see what that's all about.
Rainer main, stop buying the Vandal. You should be buying the Phantom instead. Whenever you buy a Vandal, you're literally trolling and dying for no reason. But it's not just Rainer, it's Rainer's teammates too. So that's literally all of us. Because Lear is not a flash, it's a near sight. It means if your opponents are close enough, they can see you through it. So I should always take the Phantom for close fights? No, well, yes, but that's not the reason. Even for medium to long fights where you're...
Okay, that short just sucks, so. And yeah, they tried to copy me with a breakdown. Skillcap tried doing their own breakdown, that kind of sucks.
One thing that catches my attention is that not only do they play a lot of those 4-1s, but they play a lot of 5-minute hits where they have 2 sets of
That shortness
utility.
isn't good,
If that
so who cares?
first side hit doesn't work, they're going to have that second random utility to make it work out. But it makes it a lot harder for the post plan, so that can be an opportunity for T1 to capitalize from that. I still feel like, yeah, there's a good chance for DRG here, especially if they get the map 1.
And you might look at Lotus and go, well, hang on, they're, statistically, throw the numbers, and you go, oh, it's only a 50% win rate. That's not very good.
Sus, definitely sus.
Two of them losses.
I'm just here to see D1, I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of indifferent on the teams.
What week or so to the number 1 team that's coming
But
in
DRG
from
are
that
pretty
region,
cool.
so
Their logo's pretty much it's actually a dragon.
Those are fake numbers.
But also,
The dragons
out
are
of
fucking
the 9
cool.
matches that they played in China, 8 times they played this map of Lotus. It's insane. Even if they were not winning it every single time, it just shows how much practice they have on this map.
This is the thing, DRG, they know Sunset is coming. T1, they know Lotus are coming. If they don't take it
I
away,
should full screen this, huh?
it will get played today. It has been one of the few weak points for T1. But
What the hell?
on the other side, you're going to see Ackerman on Neon, but don't assume this is what he plays for the rest of the series, because if he wants to whip out a Clove or a Cypher, just because why not, he will. But how about Demon 1? Do we expect him to just 1-for-1 the Cypher?
I do.
I appreciate it.
I
Got more
do.
content coming soon, hopefully.
Because of the time that they had to be together, to prepare together, I think that makes the most sense. I just want to see if he's able to actually perform
It has been
with
kind of a
this
slow
Cypher,
month, but
kind of
or this
playing
month's
by
been a slow
himself the
month.
way that Bukashi
But we got a
is
bunch of
doing
videos
right
coming.
Yeah, I think it's the 2 things I was mentioning earlier, and you said it exceptionally well, Dan. They didn't have a ton of time to change things, and so how are you can't really revamp your entire structure over what, a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then you consider travel, this, that, and the other. But so that's problem
Actually,
number
I
1.
gotta
Number 2
message
is
Matt to see what's going on.
I do think it's probably the best way to slot him in. It's the in my opinion, one of the easiest transitions. You go out there, we're putting you on an island. Either they're going to bully you or you're going to be a dog.
I have a 7-month breakdown coming out. 2 actually.
Especially considering he was talking about, comms issues and having to warm up into that environment. You don't want to put him on an agent where he needs to give that much info. You want to just let him be.
Right, or timings. Timings becomes a headache if you haven't been drilling things. You don't really know what time your
I have 2
duelist like to go
videos
for the initiator, or if you're
Thank
the
you.
duelist,
Bless
you're
me,
waiting
thank
on
you.
your initiator
Houdini.
utility to hit at the right time, and half a second
Thanks for
changes
the follow.
an entire hit.
The cool thing about DRG is that they remind me, in the neck, they remind me of Cloud9 in the way that they like to play fast. They like to get very aggressive.
No, I'm kidding.
I love Cloud9, so I think it's a great thing. But they like to play very fast. They like to get messy very early into these rounds. So for Demon 1, it feels like there's not a very complicated a game plan with multiple layers of things that they have to do that you see, for example, in a team like Fnatic, in a team like G2.
Demon 1's on DRG.
It's easy to
So we're
fill him
DRG
into
fans
this
today.
role, playing that Cypher or playing something else, but with a style that is going to be just messy for me.
Yeah, right. It is kind of weird seeing back on stage.
There's $1 million.
I mean, I want him to do well just so I can get a breakthrough out of it. I think YouTube would love to see a Demon 1 breakdown.
Do you want to see them do what
Even if it does really bad,
to shoehorn
I think that'd be a
earlier?
really good
Maybe
video.
with Chamber being a viable option again on the patch, they could throw that
On
in.
Lotus
Or
Republic, we
what
could
are
see a
your- what are you
Chamber.
guys
I'm a
leaning towards?
huge advocate for Chamber on
love
Lotus.
Chamber, to be honest with you, I think in the right
Sunset
maps,
isn't too
Lotus
bad.
being one
Am
of
I
them,
standing?
think
Yeah.
You have a ton of value, especially on the defensive side, but having
It's better
Buzz
for me
on
than
the
sitting. I usually
roof,
sit all day.
Yours just too strong right now, to be honest with you, and I'd rather not change up any of those things.
All right, let's
We'll
see what we got.
What they decide to go with here.
Wow,
Demon
we're looking
1
on
on
the other
Vice.
side. We're truly in a Waylay Yoru era here.
What is up
at
with everybody
Champs.
locked in
Demon
the
1 is gonna
Waylay?
play Vice, and there's
I guess I was wrong.
So this is what I was talking about earlier.
Maybe
with
they're
DRG.
wrong.
I think we can talk a lot about Vukashu, now Demon 1, but the truth
Yeah,
is,
double
I
vice.
love their breach duelist utility.
Yeah, I do.
Omen.
Yeah, I think they do a really
Hold
good
on,
job.
DRG's
of it,
comp
and
sucks ass.
And me, I'm a hater of this.
There's absolutely
this
no
combo, but
info
I
on
think
that
They do it exceptionally
comp.
well. I'm really surprised to see that they put Demon on the device instead of the Cypher.
Yeah.
There's a lot more
Coming
pressure
out
on
of
him, but I
A
think it makes a lot of
main,
sense. If you're going into a
it's
double
going to be
duelist comp,
kinda
it's all
tough.
about delay.
We've seen
don't really
a lot
have
of this Waylay playing Road, for
anything
example. We haven't seen it
clear
as
rubble.
much, to be honest, on this map of
They have
Lotus.
the breach.
Especially because
Like the
Akuma
stun
was
rubble, I guess
playing on
Waylay
this
could like
lane
dash
instead
out
of
to it on a
double duelist with
reclear.
Spirit that is constantly on this Yoru. So I want to see also how that plays out alongside Demon.
Nothing really to leak
Yeah,
you
well,
out of the
Demon
choke point
never
besides the
played
Waylay
Vice
just
before,
flying around.
so here's a debut for him on this
I
team
don't
back
know
on
how I
the
like
global
that.
stage.
Yeah,
What
they
are
have
we
Vice
waiting
Flash for the
for?
only type
Mitch
of
and
info.
Tom, send us
Waylay
into
kind of has info with her like dash, but that's not really info you want to be using on
What a
defense.
game we've got in front of us. A world champion returning to the international stage, to the champion stage, and trying something new. A man who was criticized.
Will Energy come back in Abyss via Teets video?
What
Probably
else
not.
can he do? Well, today we get to see the Vice, and for DRG, it's not just a question of domination, it's a question of survival. This squad needs to outlive XLG, and continuing on in that upper bracket, one hell of a way to do it. But they're up against a team who we've seen reach the highest of heights this year. T1
All right,
with
let's
an
see.
international under their belt
Oh
earlier
god,
on.
they already have a
They will
4-person
not be
push.
looking to take their foot off the gas here at Champs.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. They had a huge rise at the beginning of the year. And like
Stroke for
many
the
a
cross.
super team, had a pretty big
Contact up.
fall off as well. Now it's whether or not there's a bounce back. Early contact already being taken by
Wow, what a
DRG.
good
A
reclear.
solid start, hot flash of green.
Breach on
Conspiracy
flash, everybody swings through. That's pretty
And
good.
while they're already falling back off of it, they love these aggressive starts. They love
Now,
these
as long as Flexen doesn't
front
die, he
forward
needs to leave.
plays. Oh,
He needs to
Flexen
leave.
hasn't fallen all the way back. That's going to give
I've
an
seen that.
opportunity.
I've seen that movie way too many
response,
times.
Meteor had a chance. But isn't going to be able to capitalize.
Oh!
Oh, just chill, just live. Just
Risky.
live, you're good.
Yeah, Spirit C1 took a risk. It almost paid off as well. DH down to 17 HP, but he gets that deep control towards spawn. It could allow a plant, but in fact, it's going to be a full rotation
Oh my
from
god, they're running
T1,
all the way towards.
using their opponent's spawn to wrap around.
All
But
the way to
where's
B, I
the
guess?
target? One player towards the B site, taken down. DH leaves stacks
Nice.
all
Yeah, this push in the
alone.
beginning was
A
everything. That was a really nice push with the
versus
breach storm.
5 for the fade. And DRG not looking to split too much. We'll see them retake this together. And I love this composition. I think we saw it yesterday as well, just how powerful the Waylay alongside the Yoru can be. And for DRG, that's only going to enable them to double down
I mean,
on what
Yoru
we've already
Waylay.
talked about in that aggressive
Teleports and
playstyle.
attack
You
first
don't believe in the
attack
stats,
FPS
but
are pretty
talking
nuts.
about comps. This man in a 1 versus 4. And you were right. Maybe you're right. Yeah, no, that was with me.
Like, my problem with the Waylay is that she doesn't have a whole lot of
That wasn't
utility.
Carry on, it's only a 1v3.
And she's really relying on other
Nah,
people
nah.
to set her
That
up.
first one, if he
Now,
hits
on a
that
map
instantly,
like
I'm in. And the
Road,
second it
where
was
she
like
could dash
4 bullets,
into,
I'm out.
she could dash
A
in a
solid
boathouse,
start
or not boathouse,
coming
but
out from
hut.
DRG from
on D
Demon
side.
1 as well. He got the double, but a
And she
pistol
can dash
when
into
the rifles come out.
those boxes on the right side of A
This is
main,
the thing with
on
this
elbow, I
squad,
guess.
is we've already
Those are like
seen
good
it
entry
once
pathing options. On
with this Yoru combined
Lotus,
with Waylay.
I don't know
It's so
where she would
difficult
dash
to
into
play
an
against.
A,
So you have to be
maybe
so
up into the front
prepared
half
for
of
this
site.
exact composition.
On Lotus,
Well, I guess the good thing
on C site, maybe
for T1 is they probably have played against it. I imagine they've at least scrimmed
maybe
a
she
little
could dash
bit
into
versus their
elbow on
Korean
C site and
partners
be in a
over
pit
in
on B.
DRX, but I definitely didn't look.
But they don't have a lot of
prepared for
info.
that one.
I'm
Starting
interested to
things
see
out
how
on
this
the attack
works.
side. Of course, this map, as a choice, it was mentioned by the desk, one that has been played a lot,
Pretty standard buys.
but recently at least, DRG have had a couple of defeats, and that might be why we've seen the change.
Demon
Well,
1,
Demon 1 gets
another
his.
opening for him, but he's stuck in the corner. T1 looking to pressure. Demon 1 strikes again before eventually falling. Damage from here on out for T1 possible. They look to retrieve the weapon. The Bulldog will be picked up. DH
That's
low
good
on
damage.
ammo, but good enough to take Spirit C1 down.
Yeah.
Akamano cleans
That was
up
good
before
damage.
this gets too spooky. With Flexen on the other side of the map. There will
Does
be
really need a
weapon
buff?
lost.
I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
not. I've
it's
seen a
maybe
lot
a
of
little
teams
bit
starting to
more
run her,
costly
so
than
maybe
they would
not.
have liked,
Let's
but
give it a minute before we start buffing
ultimately
people.
not the end of the world coming into things. And
Alright, first full
I
buy
think
it looks
that's
like.
actually the sort of
Honestly, T1 got a
that
lot
was
of good
always the
damage in.
interesting talking point coming into this match is what Demon 1 will be doing. Will he be taking up a more aggressive role? Will he be trying it out maybe on the smokes as he has done in the past? But I like the fact they've done the straight swap, because if you've ever watched this squad when they play regionally,
Oh god.
Vukashu a lot
Another
of the time is on an
four-person push.
island.
Let's see
So
what
you
this
have a
looks
guy
like.
that maybe can't communicate quite as well with the rest of the team. That's fine. He's going to be an anchor player, as you can see right now.
Full
Oh my
aggression from
god.
DRG as expected. It's a bloodbath to start with. Only the first falling from Ackerman, but Flexen follows. Nick trying to recover. Stands
Oh my god. Nick is just going
the
nuts.
triple That's given them a real chance. But the players left only have pistols. Retrieving the weapon is deadly. And Demon 1 versus 2.
Welcome to Lotus.
Low. He's got a chance. A great start to the map.
Did she get a second
already,
refresh?
Would be
That was really
else,
nice. She dashes all the way up into this area, so everybody
hand,
turns around and is looking at her.
Meteor,
So her teammates
he
can take
swung
fights
that
better.
door.
He's done that on purpose, though. He knew he'd be giving the game away.
That's
he heard
cool.
the player taking the
I don't
orb.
know if there was a smoke here,
It was
but
almost just bait that I'm going to break this, but then I'm going to retreat back and make you start to question where I've gone. And that's exactly what's happened. Buzz
Demon 1-2
currently
going
keeping
clutch.
an eye back
There's a
towards
gun.
mid. Sneaks his way past, but Buzz is just tucked in on the corner. Meteor, normally a safe pair of hands, but the information hasn't yet been garnered on where
really
Demon
isn't
1 is
planning for
going.
them?
The problem
I guess
is
Demon
Buzz, in the
haven't.
meantime, is wrapping back around. So many angles to clear, would have to check his back, and he's going to. He's checked the right angle.
Oh, God.
Puts it into a 1 versus 1 scenario, but the time has been ticking, and Meteor is just patiently waiting. The timing should work out for him as well.
So unlucky.
It's a nice
Honestly, though,
attempt,
good damage.
but
That's a
it's
really good
T1
bonus.
now on the board.
Oh, one hell of a try. And there you're getting to see the caliber
Let's see
of
what the buys
Demon
look like.
1, a player who we've seen lift that
I mean,
trophy
that just came down to
for
the
good
indoors.
reason. But this time around, it's
But
too
Nick
much
went
to ask.
crazy.
Hell of a hold from Nick,
God,
though.
the Guardian
They
is
were
so
losing
satisfying
players
to watch.
left, right, and
Oh
center,
my
and he
God.
just comes out,
Bah,
Prowler into a double headshot, and he'd already taken down easier.
On 17 HP, it's
And regardless of how this one could have been DRG's,
That was a good one.
it should have been T1's a bit more convincing, especially
100%.
with that start. And that is a costly round. Coming into the next, if they full invest, they're putting all their credits on the line, and there you go. It's full rifles.
The
It's gonna be
T1 are
this
so
early
set on
fight
taking
once
it.
again.
The buys look normal, half shields across the board.
It's already being open. Paranoia had to be used almost immediately, and with the smoke down, it would be risky, but Ackerman's gone down elsewhere. An
Yeah, I
early
don't know how I
fight
feel
that's
about
worked out for the side of T1. They are facing off against this early brawl.
Holman Paranoia through
For
door.
the second time, it looks like they're coming out on top.
Waylay tried to dash and get into this cubby to try and
Take a
fight
look
it,
at that
but
space
somebody's on the
taken
roof.
as we got on board with Meteor. He's on the
Maybe
ramp
there's
as they
some
go towards the
tool
B
damage,
side.
but-
Control up
Vice
towards heaven
found
as
a really good
Fisu
opening on a
takes
B. She just
another
walked
flexing
straight in.
going through the doors, out of the round.
Live
This was
reaction
the chance
breakdown,
for
yeah, that's what we're
DRG
trying to do today.
break that economy of T1, but T1, they're not letting anything slip. Fighting tooth and nail, every duel going their way.
The thing
So
is, I
it's
don't
Nick
think
and Demon 1.
DRG
An ult online early
can
for
stop
Demon
the
1.
offense
Nick
from
not far
coming out of
away,
A main.
but committing them.
Because
Even
I'm pretty sure
committing
Neon
the
could just
rifles
run past
into this
whatever
round
breach
from
they
this
throw.
point forward seems like a mistake, and
And
they
the
have
defense
called
don't
for the
have any
save already.
information to
The objective now
tell
just to
them in the
carry
late
these
round
weapons
if there's
forward,
people
give
in
them
this
a
area,
chance.
if that makes sense.
After what was a
So-
shaky round 3, this is
Yeah.
a great course correction.
I
for
think we're
T1's
going to see like
economy.
100
I
A
think
main
you're always
brawls
going
this
to have
entire
to keep
game.
an eye on Meteor in matches like this. You're talking about an MVP player. Of course, the recent memory will put someone like Forsaken, of course, but Meteor is
I mean, for DRG's comp,
an incredibly
oh my God.
tough player to play against. It's seeming, though, like
This
Nick
dude is on.
has woken up on the right side of the bed. Aim has been clean. He's made this one a bit more costly, but still going to be taken out by Stacks. And although it's a round that is
All right, we should
a
see
little
another
bit
A main
more
fight.
damaging after how it started for T1, they're not going to mind because they removed every single gun.
You could use a, I mean,
Yeah,
the
this
Vice
is
Flash
really
is
a
gonna change
make or
much.
break round for them. On the T1 side,
Yeah, it was a
and
mistime
they
fault
played
line.
like it.
That's what stopped him from pushing
Great
up.
control from Meteor,
If
and
she
that's a
waits
gap
an extra
that I
half
don't
second for the
expect to
fault
see
line, or if it's
DRG
there,
leave
she wins that fight. But
all too many more times. But with the 3 players committed towards that A site and your Vice set up on C,
Sheriffs for the defense.
fortunately, it is just a part of the game.
Yeah, a lot of the time you're going to set up aggressively on A and then go back through. Oh, that's a 1 for 5 headshot. You're going to go back through the double door, or the broken door, sorry, to make your way back into B. But if he does it quickly enough, he is already through. And that's a difficult thing that they'll definitely have to focus on.
I don't think
It's
moving
also
Vice over
your broken door player was Akamon, who went in for that info with the refract and got shut down. So then you just lost that ability to go back entirely. There's a hiccup. All right then. Not sure what he saw. The Spidey sense is tingling. Good start for T1. They've taken down 1 player. They've left Demon 1 low. That ult from Vice not likely to be used, but where do they go from here? There's no stack to run into. That's the good thing. Regardless of where they go, they've got a relatively favorable fight.
Oh God, this is so ballsy.
Meteor might be in a little bit of trouble here, but he's not going to be the one going first. And while flexing is left revealed,
How is he alive?
Not quite stunned. Yeah, he's somehow managed to retreat.
In what world is this guy alive?
A fairly hefty rotation back from the defensive side. The main thing I'm worrying about right
Well,
now is
3
that
stacks here. Omen needs help.
25 seconds to get onto this site, and he held the line at least a little bit
Oh my
longer.
God, I don't know
Aftershock
how he ended
trying
up
to deny
this.
the plant. Another kill for Spirit Z1, but they are on their last leg, tagged up, and he's
Oh my
back
God,
one
we're hitting
more.
shots.
It's the same position though.
All right, Demon 1v2.
to Demon 1.
1v2 clutch.
Another
Can he pull it
1v2.
off?
Now here's where you start. 60 HP, a Sheriff, but if he pops that ult, he's got a real chance. Low HP on Meteor
Nah,
already.
no shot he pops the
Headshot
ult.
onto Stacks could set him up for success,
Honestly,
but Stacks gets
take
ahead
that
of the
back.
problem.
Maybe he
3
gets
to
1
2
and he pops
locked
the ult.
in for T1. But a surprising round as well in terms of how much DRG got done. They had one player towards the A site. He was up close, he was blinded, he was revealed, he was pushed back by the wall, and still, he makes it out of there, ends up drawing blood. That's damage that shouldn't really have been done. And from there, DRG do a great job to just keep trading out these picks.
No info
Again, it's not
initiator
around they're
comes,
likely
just
to
never
win,
work.
but it's also not around they're likely to make close with how it started. So, not a bad beginning
Without running
for
a
this map,
fade,
but T1 in the
Silva, or
lead.
Sky,
DRG are now
I
actually
just
going
never
to take
seen it
a
work.
relatively
Your
early
rotate just won't be there in the right time. You're kind of
tactical
just
pause.
guessing.
We haven't seen much of them in terms of the
Not
buy
guessing,
rounds.
but the
It
only
was those
information
first
you'll
couple,
have
and
is
then
your
not able to get things
what you
going
see and
after
what
the
you
last
hear.
two. This will be when they next get back onto the board, and with some
So it's a lot
fairly
harder to know when to
hefty
fight.
ultimates available to play with, you can understand why. The other thing as well is we've talked a lot about this being a map that really likes to be played by one side in DRG 8 times over the last few months with that 50% record.
Also, Viper's
But
just too
on
good
the
not
other
to be
side of
running.
things, although it hasn't been played much, at least a couple of the results I think are quite
Cats on his
promising
head to take another
for
dub.
the side of
Like
T1.
yesterday.
A dominating victory versus Nongshim with a 10-2 attack side. And then a very close game where they lost in OT to Paperegg. So although you might look at this and go, okay, this is DRG's pick, this is, I'm sure they're coming in with a standing, but this
I
is their
wonder
best
what DRG are gonna talk
opportunity.
about. I wonder if they do
think
move the
that
Vice over.
T1 are
I
going
don't
to
know
be
if it's
too
going to
worried
do much
coming
because
into this
Neon,
map.
again, just
And
beats the
especially
timings of everything.
with the start they've had.
Someone just shoots her Vice
I'm
Flash.
getting a little bit worried that if we don't
Alright,
get a
see.
response soon from DRG, they might just run away
We're on
with
full
this.
buy, we should see a change.
It's always a fear.
Looks like maybe they're going to
One that
fight
could be
A, and
realized as
they
we
did
get
move the
back
Vice
into
over,
the
but they're
game.
not doing it
They
to
swapped Demon One's
fight for
position.
A main.
Soon to go up, and indeed, after that pause, the change up, you look at the ults in play for Demon 1, it's a good stoppage. Having his ultimate to work
So he
with.
rips a flash and leaves.
But a deep play by Easy is going to get a lot of information. This space wide open, not being fought
So they were
for.
going to
There's
heavy
the
pressure A, I
solo
guess, with
site
just a breach
defender
stun,
spotted,
and hope to go
pressured
into
as
B.
well, and Izu
Well, that's not really enough.
shuts Demon 1 down. The A site open for business. And DRG forced into the retake. At least they'll have that rolling thunder to work with, but Meteor is going to be a snake in the grass.
Yeah, this is a nasty
Yeah,
position
it's
that
so
they
tough to
need to clear. Nobody coming in from behind. It would just be this firefight. First one goes his way, but the trade is there quick enough. Plenty of
They've also
ultimates to
worked
play
with.
with either side, and in fact, T1 will be the first to throw. They're going to put in that ult to try and slow them down. Rolling Thunder on the other side. Convergence path was being set up, but not yet thrown in. Still held, at least for now, but they need to start finding these kills. Buzz with another Izu, one more. And while he might have used his ult, but he'll get one more.
I
ball
think the
back
timing of the Rolling
towards it.
Thunder was
Nick
way off.
falls.
I think if
And
we're going to
was
rip that ult,
very clean
we have to at
round
least
from
take Tree
T1.
first, so we're not waiting
Cleaner than
5
any we've seen
to
so
10 minutes
far.
for that door
Well,
to
in
open.
almost every round, DRG have
Waiting
been
2 to 4
fighting for that
business
A main
days.
space, right? They've been pushing up deep, even in the round where they had pistols. The Sheriff ended up close
Because
to the
it
smoke,
rocked-
so of course, Izu's going to put
it
the
rocked
dimensional
2
drift
side
through,
players.
but finding that pick onto Demon 1. Hell, the information might have been enough, but you add
And
in
you're already
that
good
kill,
to dodge it by
the round
going in
spirals
ahead
out
and
of
dropping
control.
out.
You're on the
But
back foot playing the retake.
if we
Meteor
replay that
able
breach
to
ult, you
pick
see that
off
nobody's
another
ready to
on the
follow
way
up off
through,
it.
and that's Izu down.
And you can kind of understand the
Picking
thought
up kill after
process
kill.
on the other side as well for DRG that, okay, we've just taken a pause, maybe they
Oh, this
try
is
and
cool.
adapt. Oh, fast-paced play
Now that's
from
cool.
Akim. A nice setup to clear out Meteor. He has been a burden.
That's different.
but a
Instead of
quick
fighting for A main, we're
execution.
fighting
They know
for
they've lost map control. T1
A main.
to see.
Not a lot to say about
mean,
this round for DRG. They've got their
they just run out the
pistols, and
guns.
they've been
I kind of wish
at
they
least
pulled that out
making
on a
it
full buy.
competitive in the start with that deep A play, but once
Should
it
Waylon
push
use ult
comes
as
to
well?
shove for
I mean, it was a
T1,
big
they are
round.
ruling this battlefield with the rifles in hand. No chance to even the playing field with Demon 1 falling so early, and
Maybe I got to see it
this
again,
one
but I feel like they
done
just
and
weren't ready to
dusted
follow up off
pretty
the
much
breach.
as it starts, 5 to
Rolling
2.
Thunder.
You talked about that snowball. We saw DRG call the timeout to try to stop
Why did
it,
I
but
pin that message?
It's got worse.
it has. It's looked more dominant
unpin
since
that.
that moment.
Well, I guess the other side of things is it also gives Autumn some time to talk, and it seems like, well, at least the round prior against Guns, it was purely based off they managed to find exactly where Demon 1 was. He's been a one-side anchor. The second he was down, it was a very easy take. This round, you're up against pistols, but it's also just the sheer pace at which T1 are reacting. Confident calls coming out of Stacks. And when he's in flow state, it feels like the rest of the team go with it.
Flexen's fallen early towards that
How
door.
DRG are constantly losing
It's
the
been a
safe
death
fight.
sentence. The dash used to get back out of that A choke point, and T1 with the
We're
early
not
fight
investing a
towards
paranoia.
A-main.
We're not investing anything
They're not
in this early
intending to
fight.
hit here. Noise made with the door open as Izu tries to distract,
Neon is just
puts
running
the
past
decoy
everybody.
through, but the rest of the
That's
squad
a big
making their
problem.
way into Demon 1's den. This time, the Vice wall towards B. And although Izu falls and Meteor, they still have this C hit to rely on.
We're
The
going
Thorns are
C,
gonna
we're just walking out in the
divide
open
up
before
the
the C
groups a
hitting
little
happens.
bit. Buy some time, maybe buy a 1v1 for Demon 1, but he backs
why are we
out
just walking
as
out?
Spirit C1 goes through. The trade, at least, DRG holding on to the advantage.
Great Vice
There's
wall.
the Steel Garden. Weaponry removed, but it's how
now
fast
we
they
gotta
can
hurry
actually
up.
get in to deal with this. Immediately, Buzz is going to activate the overdrive. Not affected by that ultimate. Now they have the guns with a convergence path. They're going to trap each other in the corner. It needs to be an instant headshot, and well,
Nice.
it is,
That's a
but
good
not
take.
for the side
I
of
mean,
T1.
they invested, like,
Ultimate's committed,
2 ults,
but it's definitely worth it to stop that snowball. DRG back on the board after 5 in a row.
Yeah, that was a big run.
Yeah, they do a
I think
great
the ult
job
wasn't
here of
too
dealing
bad.
with Izu towards A, but not overcommitting on the rotates. Obviously, Demon 1 holding down that position. It's why we've seen him in so many of these clutches. He's the last man alive because he's left on the other side of the map to hold his ground. And although he backed off, there was good reason for it. They knew that having that ult online later is worth far more than him standing his ground for a 1v1 and being traded out. And it ends up pretty
Yeah, I
much
don't know why we
securing
walked
them
out in the middle of the open.
alongside
buys are
Ackerman's
still
middle,
good.
5-3. But that's a round
I
where they
think
have
if
ults to
DRG
respond
loses, they
after
have to
side is
save.
taken. Now we'll get to see
Well,
what
two
happens
kills,
when
two
they
ults, by the
don't,
way.
and when the Steel Garden's online for Meteor as well.
Again, early control.
Yeah, this is the same
Buzz
exact thing that I see
taking
happen
this
in rank.
space at a perfect horn
DRG
throw
are
through.
never winning the same
It
aim
makes
fight.
things so he's experienced once found 2 though.
Wait, how did he get 2?
Just running through. He
Wait,
managed
how is
to
he
get a
getting
third,
3?
A huge round from him individually.
Oh my god.
Well, the man.
DRG, this is so
We've
annoying.
mentioned
DRG are constantly losing
that
the same aim
Bangkok
fight, but by the
MVP
grace of God, they just keep
might just get to show us why.
winning it somehow. I think that their aim main fight doesn't work because Breach Fault Line isn't doing a whole
Contact
lot.
off that first flex, it takes him down.
If you want to
and
stop
he
this Neon
didn't,
from running
it
out
would
like
have to be
this,
a lightning fast
I
adjustment
think
onto
Breach
Nick.
needs to start in
5
tree
to
and
4.
Fault Line
What a
like this.
response from
Almost could
DRG.
start
What
with
a
him,
response
honestly.
from
Paranoia like
Spirit
this.
C1. These haunts from Stacks have been getting away with so
Kind of hard
much.
to do on a dynamic map.
It
But.
feels like they got extra HP. They're just not being broken. What a
Yeah, everybody's.
spray,
That's
though.
what I'm saying.
He
This is what
steps
Lotus
through the
is.
smoke for a bit more.
With these comps, I should
Buzz
say.
then trying
Double
to
duelist, double
reclaim
duelist.
space,
Yeah, it's going to be a
reclaim
ton
an
of fights for A
advantage.
main because they're lacking
With
info.
Spirit C1 down,
You have to
went
fight for A
straight
main.
into Nick, and the round's done. 1 round between them. DRG.
If you watch online
they look
videos
like
on
they-
Lotus,
they're
that's what they're
seconds,
about.
rounds away from being left in the dust, and yet they're able to come back swinging every time.
What is it, timeline or tech pause?
It's gonna
Tech
be
pause. Yeah, Breach needs
This
to...
is our first.
Oh, okay.
It gives us
tech
a little
pause.
bit more time to talk. No, I think for sure. Like, I was definitely getting a little bit worried, but
Unlucky.
they still have that confidence. I don't think it ever left. Like, how aggressively they're willing to swing. I think Ackerman as well, being able to just put himself in such aggressive positions. But this was all about maybe just a little bit of a late smoke coming in from DH, because they were already fully swinging out on the angle. It drops,
So-
and that's just that little bit of extra space given to Spirit Z1.
Neon
and he
is
takes
constantly
over the
running
round.
out.
I also want to give credit to Nick as
Like
well,
this,
though.
and is
Someone
dodging
playing
all of
Breach is
utility.
a
Or
few
she's running out like
players
this.
that
I
spring
couldn't-
to mind.
I don't
I think we
remember,
got
but she's
Rian
running out
coming
and
up
dodging
later
everything.
on,
That's
who
the
just
issue.
has that ridiculous aim.
So
while
if we want to
playing
stop Neon from
that
coming
more
out of the choke
supportive
point,
agent, but it
Breach
seems
has
like
to
anybody
change
who's
this fault
walked
line
into
that
this
he's doing
man's
here.
crosshair
I think their A main
has
fight
had a
is not
tough
good.
day.
If the double duelist come, you need to be fighting for A main, and DRG have lost it every time.
So far, he's been
From
holding
tree,
his ground.
Breach needs to
I
be
think we've
following like
seen signs
this,
of life across the board.
or from here, one of the two.
DRG, it needs to be built on from here, but
Oh my
you
God,
spoke
camera
about
in the way.
T1, one of their more recent games, right? Having that strong
so
attack
embarrassing.
side, the 10-2. It's no longer in play. It's already going to be that closer half, but it's a good time to touch on for DRG.
I'll just put it here.
Where are your expectations at as far as their attack side? When we
So,
swap?
Neon is running
What
out like
foundation
this,
do they need to
and
lay
like
here
this.
to build something beautiful?
It's hard to tell.
It's sort of a
I don't
weird
really
one,
remember
because
without
if you
seeing
go
the VOD, but
versus
Regardless, she's dodging on the
DRG,
utility. This breach run isn't
they
working.
seem to
So
struggle
stop doing
on
it.
their attack, but in their victories, it's normally the attack side that dominates. So thinking back
Instead,
to
what
a
we
few
need to
games
do
ago
is
versus
fault
XLG,
line
they had an 11-1 attack. I don't expect that again.
I can't draw
but
straight lines.
normally they have
The
at
life of
least
me.
an even half or a
Well,
victory.
fault line like
That is
that,
the same for Team
and then
1
maybe
in
even
other
only good
matches.
paranoia
So they
behind
can still
here,
pull it
or
back on
Waylay
the
can toss
defensive
a
side. I
slow
think
for
we're in
here.
quite a balanced
So
round.
if Neon is
The
going
only
to run
thing
up
will
and
obviously
tuck
be
into this
is how
corner,
that
the
double
breach
duel
sun's
is
going to
gonna
get
go.
her.
And I
If she's
think
going to run
when
up
you
this way,
bring
it's
in
going
a
to get her.
Waylay, I expect
The
more on
Waylay's
the
slow.
attack, 'cause you have
Can
that
go back
guy.
here.
I think
That gets
especially
her.
when you know you're coming
That
up
stops
against
the
a
Waylay,
Vice.
or stops the Neon.
Having that
And then
Waylay, you
nobody
can
else
get
can follow
over
up off
and
the breach
through
stun.
all of that
Anybody out
utility,
in
you
the
don't
middle
take
here
any damage. We've seen it from
just
Buzz. He
out
tries
in
to
the
like
open.
slide through it. You
And
still
somebody back
take
here
a hit.
is clawed.
With
I think
Waylay,
that
you
I see this in ranked all the time, where
something
players
we've already
don't,
touched
when
on
they want to
in
fight
one
for
of the
A,
previous
everybody
games
just
that
funnels
we've
through these
had
narrow
where we
choke
saw
points.
this
Guys,
exact same
there's
confidence. I think it was
one,
most evident on Abyss. The fact
two,
that you have, or actually
three
most
different
evident
choke points to
online
come
in our
through.
previous series, where you have this element to adapt. The Jet, you dive in, you take that space, you're now in there. Same for Neon.
So if we're going to fight for A main, I think we need to be opening door and fault lining like this.
With Waylay, you have the choice to go in, get info, and get out immediately. You have the
Because
choice to
whatever
go
we're doing
in,
here
get info,
with this
and
stun
commit,
just
or
isn't working. It's not
seen
covering
a
enough ground.
bunch
It's
of
stopping
times
everybody
now,
else, but it's not stopping
disruptive
Neon.
when they dive through,
Which is what
throw
the
the
problem
stun
is.
back and then refract. It's like this stun just comes out of
So,
nowhere,
especially-
unpunishable, and that player is dead to rights.
Especially with a Yoru, because that I think my favorite thing yesterday was when you then had the second layer of you've gone, okay, I think I finally dealt with Waylay, and you turn around and Yoru's just like, hello.
Yeah.
Like, I've been behind you the entire
Did you guys
time.
throw up?
So
Were you guys throwing able
I
to see
think
that?
the combinations on attack get me that little bit more excited. I think
Greetings.
right now
Did you
it's
guys see that
about
towards the end?
if DRG can get enough rounds on the defense, I will be confident that
If
they
not, I'll
can
give you
close
a
this out, even if we end
Spark
up
Notes
like
version of what I just said.
And I think looking at their defense as well, talking about the buff that this gives them in terms of that A main aggression, you think about bringing a Raze into this map. I think for most people, what will be the most conventional and historic A hold. When you're playing
Well, Mookie.
aggressive like that, you're throwing your nade
Thanks for
down
the follow.
early, and now you have to hold that space and fight with it. Whereas, again, with the Waylay, you have this ability to play aggressive early if you want to. We've seen how the util dump works, but also the ability to get out of there after. And with it being Omen, who's typically aggroing alongside
The
you,
only thing that's
you
keeping
have
DRG in
the
this
ability
game,
to cancel
by the
any
way,
of those
did
aggressive
they win
plays
pistol?
if they're overcommitting. For T1, that means it's difficult to crack the code of initial aggression, and even when you do, it's difficult to capitalize by finding picks.
But they're winning
If the
miracle
Raze
fights
is
over
pushed
on
up
A.
and you figure it out and you punish, you're a man or two
Like things
advantage.
are happening
Not
on
the
A that
case
should
here
not be
necessarily,
happening.
with DRG having a deep tool belt to fall back on. I really like this composition. I think it's growing on me game by game.
Yeah, I think I was somewhat convinced when watching DRX
Yeah, well-
yesterday. Well, we're right back into the action. Again, some early control, and this time,
Okay, they're just making a ton of
Flex
noise
has
over
been
here.
caught
That's why we're
trying
not
to push
committing.
up.
But see,
A lot
the
of these
attackers are
openers
leaking out every single time.
have been going well.
No, we're supporting DRG. I want to see Demon 1
Now, there is going to be this time the
do something crazy.
sheer ready and waiting, and that will leave Buzz. I was going to say isolated,
Yeah.
but luckily
Good
DH
omen,
got
CT.
ahead of it.
Got two players in, enough of the angles covered. Door almost broken. Buzz in the corner. Akaman's got a decision ahead of him. And now the information is there. Spirit C1. Door is broken for him. He goes back to play with his teammate.
That's a nice
Two
air roll.
on that angle. Buzz needs to be patient. Dodges the foe. Doesn't dodge the flash. He eats it. And Akaman and Spirit feed him some bullets alongside. Stacks.
Nice.
They'll
If not for
only
that
get
Yo roll,
themselves
I
a
think
double
DRG
damn
was that
good
round.
hold,
I
but
think
it's
Waylay
Demon
was so
1
concerned
back
about her
in
back,
there
she kept
behind
turning
to
around,
take the
and Yo just spotted
5-5
everybody on site.
scoreline. Neck and neck.
Yeah, it's been some real fight
Why
backs
doesn't
in
Breach
a lot of these
aftershock
rounds.
choke
Like,
throw
I
around?
think in the
Only
last
CB
few that
characters
have
get
been
past?
won by DRG, it's still T1
the thing
getting
is, after
over
the fault line
this
screen
early
covers most
battle
around.
that, again, you have
And basically,
the
you see this
attempted
Nan wall that
TP through,
Neon's
and it's
throwing?
just patiently
We
watch
basically
for
need to
again,
stun up that
another
lane.
great haunt coming out from Stacks. But then again, it's a fight back. I think Izu ends up getting lost over on that backside. He gets caught out by Nick, who once more has a high impact round. And then they just get swarmed on, not having that control anymore. His position was so much more valuable than the fight that was taken. And
Watch,
wow,
they're just going to walk out of
a
main again.
5-2 lead, and things looking pretty bad.
It's
for
like...
DRG. It's again.
It's like I can make 10 videos about this map and talk about how teams are
Flex has
taking
been
over
having a
control,
really tough time
and it
with
won't
that
matter.
kill. I can't even fault him for it. Buzz is in.
Like they're just getting
Spraying
steamrolled.
down Nick. The spray and slide. Okay. We're right back to T1 with dominant subsequent rounds, they've given DRG a little bit of slack, but oh, hold on, Spirit C1, we've seen this before. Only the 1 damage onto Stacks, but it's not going to make it too easy for Demon 1. Look at the economy. Ackerman could need a drop in the next round, and I think the thought will be to carry
Also,
this weapon through rather than throw it away on a 1 versus 4.
Aftershock doesn't go off right away. It needs time to charge up.
The other problem is there's lots of ultimates for T1.
Do I expect changes to happen on Lotus
having those
intention,
online, if you could bait
some
some
of the
out here,
walls
would be
spam-proof?
incredibly valuable.
Maybe
Again,
like
it's just a risk reward that
like
DRG
this
and Demon
part,
are
so you
facing.
can't just
I'll be
instant
honest with
start
you,
around.
I don't think
I think that's the
want
only
to
one that
see
needs to
a
be
team
changed,
again where Stacks and Buzz aren't.
I think having
an
instant.
So we had to deal with that for a little while, and the amount
I
of
barrier
just,
Odin
like, sheer
spam, I think
confidence
is
that Buzz has running through things when his teammates putting up utility.
an
Like,
interesting
there have
design
been so
choice.
many rounds where he has got an opener because a Haunt has caught someone over on DRG. They can't do anything about it, and Buzz has an easy kill. This one, not so much. He just had the read on where that player has been for a few rounds and gets him with the spam. But you could just see the level of confidence that Buzz is playing with right now, and well, it almost feels like I'm not losing this half. I'll win this one myself sort of vibe.
Winning the half at 7-5. Certainly looked like it would be a more dominant scoreline, but even that is...
He's seen an arm.
Yeah, I thought it was straight through the smoke. Seeing the arm there is just like, I really feel
why are we running
flexing.
double duel is
I
very
don't have
for
the
not going
stats
to
on
actually
opening duels,
explode
but
and
I
take
don't
space.
think
But
they're
that's
gonna
what
look
it
pretty
is.
for him.
He was flexing so much his arm went through the smoke.
This really should be like a
that could be it.
2-10 half.
And hit with the Joker Serum. 1 round left to play for. Deep play from Izu. But he's wrapping around on B. Spirit C1's going to be dropped in the B site. Seems to be wide open. Across this wall together. Early on, though, Akaman thinking about getting aggressive, but pushed back by the Fade Ultimate, standing on the edge of the smoke, thinking about coming through, and he does just to refract this Demon 1, loses in the 1-to-1 trade. They might think C is wide open now. The adjustment being made by T1. They'll close in, and with DH, he's heard the TP, he's got the timing, and it's a free pick back to a 2v2.
That's such an important kill.
Everybody was just all over B. How are we not?
The youngster from the T1 Academy who's started to light up the world just as many young players from Pacific have done. But now he sits alongside.
Quick game of, can we turn the breach flash? Oh wait,
Buzz now knows that they are sat at the back, but it's whether or not they're expecting this Rolling Thunder to come through. It doesn't seem like he's going to pop the ult, but he's already been wrecked. It's left onto DH, and they know exactly where he is. Needs to try and deliver the clutch, and he has managed to put it back into the 1 versus 1. The swing coming out from Nick, who's been so good, but playing with his food, just trying to bait him into these fights, and DH will take it.
That was a pretty cool base play.
Clutch.
A masterful play in that 1v2. After the initial pick is taken, he is just running the clock down. Well played from DH. And T1 will lead by 2 as we go into the halftime break.
All right, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. Be right back.
Welcome back as we get into our Coinbase Econ report. I'm excited to see who's going to be highlighted. This was a scrappy first half, Tom.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to be looking at Nick, and I honestly don't mind it. The guy has definitely been causing some serious issues, and it seems like he's been causing them for Izu. It's an absolute nightmare, and a lot of that is him being left alone on those lurks. And I think it's been so important for Nick to be able to sort of pick off that one player so that in their retakes they're not getting backstabbed.
Apparently he's bought one Vandal and 3 shorties, fair enough. And dropped over a lot, I suppose. As DRG trail by 2 when we get back into the game. This is going to be an important pistol round, I think. We've already said we expect a good attack side, and it to be only, or even better than what we've seen before. Now that they're bringing in this Waylay alongside the Yoru, how they use it, well, that's very much up to them. One thing I'm looking forward to is Flexen having a bit less pressure towards A-main.
Yeah.
He was being picked off so often through smokes, getting hit by those
You
stacks
say
reveals
that.
as well.
He's set up right outside A main.
It's making me worried. Getting nervous.
Although saying that, on the other side of things, it's only Izu who's going to go peeking, and that didn't, I'll be honest with you, it didn't seem like the play. It was just, I assume he had a way out of there. I was hoping to. Demon 1.
Oh God, I'm looking.
Alive and well, it seems, but he will be dealt with by DH. The problem, for T1 at least, is that A site has fallen.
Yeah, we're talking about double the numbers now. For DRG, they've got the man advantage and then some. They've got the plant, they've got time ticking away on their side. Meteor.
Demon 1's looking okay.
If he came through
I
that
didn't
smoke,
see the
2
switch around,
players
but
holding him.
looks like we had a push out of B.
Has to cover his bases and clear out the rest. DH, this paranoia is good. It's going to catch the player up close. What a shot! Akaman dropped, but
Jinx.
Time. He's bought a little bit of it with that stun. And now the spike is really starting to tick fast. They need to make a move. Meteor and DH. It's Meteor through the door to be shut down. The trade was possible, and it won't be needed
nice
with
try.
Nick.
I want to see what happened in the beginning.
Landing that
Sorry, I was
shot to
taking a bump.
close out the pistol. 6-7. DRG just 1 behind.
Yeah, I like the fact that Nick in that scenario doesn't give anything away. Like, safe pair of hands. He just sits behind the box, lets his 2 teammates go and challenge towards the revolving door, and just basically sits in the corner, so nobody expects him to be there at the end.
I think
Solid
Demon 1
round
was on
coming out for DRG, and an important one
Well,
at that. As I said, I
he was
think
on left
there's
when he got dropped,
a
and then
good
he was on
opportunity
nobody, now he's
for
on
them
DRG.
building into this. And
Alright,
one thing I want to sort of point out for T1 is obviously in a lot of these cases you're going to have Demon 1 on those lurks. I wonder if that's someone they try and target.
Well, has to be said, Demon 1 having a hell of a game. It's been 5 months almost since we saw him play. That's only at the regional stage over in North Americas.
The buys look pretty normal.
And look at him now, last
Who won
second
pistol
substitute coming through.
in
And
this game. I forget. The first
he's
one.
delivering on a role that we've never seen him play an official on. But
Or that.
Flexen's gone down in A-main. The story of the game, this time to a classic on range.
What up, guys?
That's a tough loss early on, but they will punish it pretty heavily.
It's a loss they're used to dealing with.
Yeah, but on the defense, it's a different story attacking without this.
You know, they're playing at range. They don't mind if someone peeks them while they've got the rifles out.
Paranoia is
I would
overrated.
say it's not, yeah, it probably won't affect. There you go, it's all fine. They didn't need him anyway. Hopefully in the next 2 rounds it won't keep happening, but in this case, it's not too bad. For
Yeah, it could be
Meteor,
crazy. My
any
thumbnails
damage
could
would be
be
nice.
pretty good in the
That's not
future.
going to happen. A very clean round other than flexing, and they'll be able to come back in with a pretty solid bonus in the next round.
Man, when he goes to sleep tonight, he's just going to see A-main on Lotus every time.
That's so absurd. That's a wallbang classic headshot that killed him there. That probably did about 5 damage.
Yeah, that one's going to sting for sure. But
I think all of them.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, this
I
first
think
one
it's
is really important.
compounding. It's like a toxic.
It looks like
Lotus flashed before
instead of
my
fighting for
eyes.
A, we're focused on just
It's a
slamming
short
C
life,
this
at least.
round.
From what we've seen.
Yeah,
7-7.
11 times.
DRG
Oh.
tying it up. Decent round in the previous. Good economy. Isu playing aggressive. He'll grab himself the first. Sticks around after the
No
flash.
way he doesn't get a second.
He sticks
That's
around a
another
bit
problem
too
with this
long.
breach comp, is that you have
Punish is
zero
there.
info to know where
T1
people
start
are,
to shift
or
towards this side of the map.
He seems to be allergic to his gate crash.
or if people
Like
are
most
worked
of
out
the
in
time,
this
you're
area.
going to see Yoru go out, get a kill, and escape. Especially
You
when
don't
your
have a Fade
teammate
Hunt,
has
Prowlers,
fallen
or any of
back.
that.
He wants to stick around too much, and in cases where your opponents have weaknesses in their buy, you can't afford to be doing
That
that.
was
Like,
nice.
these risks are just
Tagged by
not
the Rose
worth it.
before leaving.
He's 10 and 13 at the moment. If he was lighting up the server, I could understand, but that now gives an upgrade over
Wall
to the
goes
other
off,
side.
Flowers triggered.
4 rifles now in play.
Yeah, T1 are kind of all over
They've
the
even
place.
lost some of their utility on the B side. That they
There's
have to be a
question marks
lot
in
more
so
careful.
many areas. Mound, B main. They could be coming back to go A.
Utility
Fire for so
questions
long.
in the back of the mines. DRG, there's the gate crash taken for Spirit Z1. In the smoke early, got ahead of Stacks, but doesn't catch Meteor coming out. It's down to a 2v2 with Nick's trade. The spike still needs to be planted, but they've got 30 seconds to do so. I believe it's down below, so a little bit of a reroute from Demon 1, but those Thorns should buy them time. Pressure's on Nick when they fade. 2 players coming his way, and it'll be Buzz sliding through again. It's tough to track this man. The flash set up. Demon 1 in another clutch, and even blinded to find the
way.
But Buzz, the savior of this round for T1. It's close.
Still a good bonus.
But they'll maintain their lead.
Are we going to overlap on the
Playing
casters?
against Buzz's Neon is just a nightmare. Like, the movement that he has is just absurd. Like, even if you get the drop on him, it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, it was a really expensive bonus. That was nice. That was a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage.
Here. As a bonus round goes, it's definitely not bad, but I do feel like, especially in moments like that, they're going to feel a little bit hard done by that they don't manage to take that round home. Nonetheless, you'll see in a moment what damage has already been done to the T1 economy, and on the other side of things, Nick coming in with a rolling thunder. This could be an immediate response from DRG.
Yeah, we talked about how direct they like to play on the defensive side. Well, you got a rolling thunder
triple
online.
stack? This is good too, because they don't have no info, no prowlers, no any of that.
Play that aggressive roll.
Ooh,
Love
what
that bait. That's beautiful. The refract from Akuma. We talked about the ability to just
that was nice.
get out of those
The reveal, the
deeper
3 stack
angles.
was
This time
here.
the dash
They
not
immediately
used.
pivot back in towards A.
Gets rid of that paranoia, burns up util.
I wonder if that's some sort of anti.
There was a heavier
Is
stack
T1
on
like
that
doing
side
that
of the
maybe?
map, but after T1 re-cleared the space, they're
Or
on the
they were using Waylon to
moving towards this A site where
get some
Meteor
info.
was left to solo hold, where they were giving up control towards the tree, but now they'll be 3-man stacked up. But they're not here ahead of the push, and Izu goes down alongside Stacks. Ackerman!
Oh my god, he's going nuts.
And T1!
Yeah, they burned a lot of utility on that re-clear. That was a really good bait. I don't know if that's some sort of anti.
Now they're out of the round. This might have to be a save.
I was thinking
And then
a lot of
Ackerman.
what we
I
saw
mean, it
in
was a good
the
rotate back to A. They
defensive
realized through
Ackerman
C.
being a one and done. Like,
Insta
you fly
darkness
in, get
into
a
A.
kill, die, and that'll be it. Not this round. He's now put himself
Honestly, he should go hunting.
right near the top of the board.
I don't know what their money looks like, but
contention for that on the DRG side.
one
so
off
many
Waylon.
top level performance for this
I think it's
squad.
pretty nice.
And I said the danger for T1. The only
I guess I don't
player
really need
surviving
it.
the last
It's better to
round
save the
was
gun.
Buzz.
Use Breach Hold Vice next round.
They have
You
no
stagger
choice
ults,
but
and
to
you have
save.
Waylon
Even
ult
if
for the
they
next
do
round, and
save,
your ult
a
for the round
full
after
buy in the
that.
next round,
That's good ult
very
management, I guess.
unlikely.
You don't really you don't need to go hunting. Yeah, let them ace. Everybody gets so pissed when they don't ace.
The credits there on the players who've lost their life in that early fight towards A.
Guys, he only has 3 kills.
It's not looking pretty.
So funny.
They'll have to piece this
In
together.
ranked, I'd play my buddy Lucas, who'd get 2 kills and start chanting for the ace.
Stealing it out from under T1. What an incredibly competitive game we've had so far for DRG. Coming in as an Ascension team, the stakes couldn't be higher. As we said, it's not just about lifting a trophy, about
that's just playing against the Waylon.
For your org, winning your first map for DRG on the international stage, but most importantly, it's about defending your spot in VCT, about not having to go to Ascension, sending XLG, who are already in the lower bracket. I believe it's Sentinels they're going to play. There's a good chance they go out early, and even that one win for DRG could put them above
that's just being unfamiliar
XLG
with
and avoid Ascension.
Honestly,
hell of a way to do it if it's over T1.
Even if it's not based on him individually,
Unfamiliar
there's a lot
playing
of good
against the Waylon.
performers.
Am I
If
sick?
Demon 1 comes in
No,
and
my
he
allergies
even
are
helps
just
them win a
horrible
match,
right now.
he's going to go down in history and DRG for one of the people that helped keep
I
them in the
have-
league. Like,
me
it's
and Josh
so
have 2
important
cats.
because, as we've seen
And,
many a time, nothing is guaranteed at Ascension. You could be the best team for the entire year, but you have a bad couple of days, and that is already over. It is always a brutal format. And with the pressure of being one of those teams dropping down, you're expected to be better than the teams in the Tier 2, and that's
Well,
not
just going
always
nuts
the
with them.
case. I think G2 have proven that in Americas for quite a while now.
Oh, this is it.
The Misboom Planet was
T1
really
on the other
nice.
side, you think back to Bangkok. You saw them lift the trophy.
Yeah.
And definitely, in terms of opening up this group, in terms of opening up champs, you don't want to see them go down early if you're a T1
I wonder if
fan,
both teams
but
end up going back towards A.
especially to a team from Ascension,
Fighting A.
especially to a team who've made a last-minute substitute of bringing in one of the best
Maybe
chamber
not, looks like
players
maybe an
we've
ace flip.
ever seen. Lost one of their best and put in a man who's never played Vice
That's
before.
crazy. Yeah, that's just unfamiliarity against playing
one of the rifles.
Oh, where are they? Dashing top rubble?
Is down. And, is it retrievable? It might be stuck on top of the box. That's disastrous if so, leaving Buzz as the only man holding a big gun.
They lose A, so Izu pushes on C. DRG is ready for it. I
I
mean, if DRG can improve their defense, this is a really good map for them.
A buy round doesn't exist here. Okay, the rifle did fall. Thank you, Jack. Not Jack, I'm so used to EMEA.
Just give him credit. Why not?
Yeah, thanks, Jack.
Oh, it's a bold play from Buzz. At this point, you can understand wanting to try and put the world on his back, but chance for Meteor.
Thank you.
Always one of the best with the pistols, but this is definitely a tough ask, and he's the last man standing.
Yeah, waylay insta-dashing up the top rubble is really nice. It gets so much info. You're out of there quick if you need to be. You get information on the entire area.
After what was an incredibly slow start to this game, 5-2 down, now find themselves in the lead on that attack side. And I'll be honest with you,
I mean, it's a little risky against Nico, to be honest. With nothing protecting her.
That makes me think the T1 are going to be able to turn this around. It's been fairly comfortable for DRG in the second half.
It was better to run Fade over the breach. Yeah.
Correct myself. Shout out to Ty, our third person.
I think you need to replace one of the duelists
for this matchup
with info.
Oh
God.
They've headbutted each other. He's already come in, smacked the player straight in the head, but not with the rifle. Easy down with
the comms weren't there, or I guess he didn't know.
He's found himself a triple before eventually falling.
This is what I expected most fights to look like in this map. Just a 5v5 brawl almost every time.
Put them right back on winning track,
Oh, big air roll.
It's Meteor, a man who's received his MVP, his acknowledgement on the international scene. Well, he has to take down one of the best.
Yeah, the only way to include. No way.
So risky, giving it away. Demon 1 against Meteor for the round, for the 10th round for DRG. A nail in the coffin if they lose this for T1.
Big ult allows him to reposition in a tree, backside.
But now Meteor's going to do the same, and there's no escape. Demon 1 caught by the ultimate.
The flash is still up.
To the sheriff.
Oh, what a shot! Casey! Hi, Casey.
Down by 2.
That was nuts. That's what I expect every round to look like. It's just a 5v5 brawl over towards the rubble.
Heart attack there. Clears so many different positions around the A site, but then gambles on his gate crash. And that gamble was definitely not worth it. Almost handed the round over.
There's just so much going on.
It feels like a lifetime ago, the amount of work that he was able to do.
Yeah, at least you got the info.
Mistake, but luckily, Demon 1, top of the server right now, has been a safe pair of hands.
All right, after just having fighting A, we go back towards C.
Like the standing of the century so far. I'm on Meteor. Sure,
Demon 1 here, season, here's everything. They should just be pushing it into the C.
Dead within seconds.
The Bucky can be dangerous, but not on a peak like that. Demon 1 spoon-fed that pick. Can DH recover? Oh, he's going to let him fade away on the side. Izu, classic in hand. He's good for
How does he even get one?
Done well. Stacks at least finding another, but it's not enough in a round like
this.
this.
Each round has been really close. I think defense side, I think T1 should not have let DRG get that many rounds.
Remember, they held onto that space towards A-Long for a long time. I don't think they heard that weapon be picked up. He's dodged the flash. This timing could be perfect, but Demon 1's there to greet him. And even if he wasn't, Spirit Z1 should have cleaned up. 11 on the board. DRG, the underdog coming into this in most people's minds. Looking at T1's performance, looking at the substitute
that was a nice shot.
They've had to make. Looking at the role for Demon 1. They're close to taking this now.
This is the thing, I almost wonder, and it might sound ridiculous, but like Demon 1 going into Gukashu's role, basically, it's much more simple in the aspect of like, we need you to hold this side of the map while we directly hit somewhere. You don't need to focus on setting up utility or like when, for example, when he plays smokes, like putting smokes into position. There's no real reason for him to be caught without his gun, and you put this guy just to frag. Well, he's 18 and 9. He is the top fragger in the whole server right now.
We need to see more A-main fights.
It's looking very, very good. I'm sure there's some doubters or hate watchers sat there at home like, oh, he's meant to be bad. Well, he's playing in a one trick. He's playing in the Chinese #2 team. He can't be the top fragger in the server.
If anybody's complaining about Demon 1 playing on
so far,
Chinese team,
Mehdi, but for
you just don't like fun.
1, it's got to be
we're going to see more Demon 1 fights? Yeah, I don't think we're going to, though.
Form. And T1, well, they've hit the panic button. You're 11 to 8.
I don't think we're going to see him on like a chamber or Yoga or anything.
A team with a standing.
Maybe next map. Maybe on a map they're unprepared for. I don't know much about DRG. Let's see.
Are G2 and
only got 5 seconds, but
obviously Heretics went on a crazy run last year.
Let's see if DRG are a good Sunset
Had a
team.
bit of a rough patch as of recent, and G2.
Oh,
I don't
never mind,
think they broke a sweat at all in winning Americas. In fact, they subbed in Baby Bay and made him look good.
Ops come out.
I'd say he made himself look good, Tom.
Big round. DRG come back for the rest of the half, but.
A little bit of both.
Okay. Out of the server, I agree.
Yeah, we'll do next. We'll do predictions for next match. I just forgot. I'm gonna be honest.
I'll let him know what you said. Well, 11 to 8, and this could very well be the end.
It's
of
a fight
T1
for A.
lose this round, at least in this
Team
map.
1 gets the
Their
info.
big sunset up
It just
next,
depends on
so
how well
it's not
Vice
all
can
dire
stall
signs.
and see.
It is definitely a time to be worried if you're from Pacific. Full clearance of this site with that command, but a big shutdown.
That was a good
T1
hold.
Playing outside of it, setting the trap.
That was a really good
Swinging
adjustment coming
just
out of
on
timeout.
time.
Oh my
Hit with a
god.
double makes this look a bit more doable.
Nick's
The
killing
up of
everybody.
Izu on the way, but still
No, don't
miles
swing.
away. Buzz
Your
injects
fade's right here.
himself
Your
onto
fade's
the
holding
site.
your other side.
A chance for him to be isolated, but now the rotates are
Nice.
here. Now the ult's in play.
Yeah, that was
The
nice.
swing is
This
perfect.
was a really good run from
Izu's
T1.
clearing
Instant
everything.
take A main. Once he realized nobody's A, instant rotate over towards C.
Yeah, I am surprised though with that advantage that we see both the Nightfall and the Dimensional Drift go through. Like they were clearly very worried that
Yeah,
round
maybe
would
hopefully on
turn on
Sunset
its
they play
head.
something more fun.
Honestly, with how some of them have gone, I can kind of understand why.
Wait, why are we
Solid
just swinging without
openers
smokes?
from DH and Meteor, and I'll be honest, it's another scenario again
Where
where
were
I
our
remember
smokes?
seeing Caron added
Was
into
it Omen
Gen
sleeping?
V and going, oh, that's someone I don't know very much about. There's this young sort of like ranked player who has been thrown in from the T1 Academy. He has been their best player, and I think maybe
Right.
you can make an
Instant
argument
take
for
of A.
Buzz. I don't think you can make an argument for anyone else.
Oh, Ackerman.
Yeah, like I said, that's where Whaley's going to dash into, up
He
into the
could
pit.
fall back, but he doesn't need to. Spirit C1's alongside him. Full control of B site, but it looks like T1 want to fight for it. A delay towards
my God.
Hobbit. They'll have to wait a moment now with that stun landing, and that's going to get the plant out for DRG. Man advantage for the attackers. But that fade quickly. Nice shot by Izu. Here comes DH
Ooh.
and Meteor. The full wrath of T1 unleashed, and no one standing but Nick. Three more. He's already got 2, but that off is holding tight on
Nice
the
try.
ankle. Another round for T1.
That was a good B hit. It's just they need more space than that.
One away now. This is a
Yo, we
hell
tried
of an
taking Heaven, but
opening
that
round.
wasn't enough. Omen was able to
Looks
leak
like
out a
they've
secret
moved
before it was
much
too late.
more towards a
Or
retake
when it was too
setup.
late.
Like, a lot of those early fights have not been working for them. The risky plays early in the round haven't been paying off. Instead, okay, they lose a man, but then it's just about boxing the players in, not allowing them to
Yeah,
have
they just
these
got triple
fast
pinch
flanks.
from Waterfall, Heaven, and
Fighting as a
Secret.
team,
Needed to take more
if you
secret
think
control.
back to like the old school
Yeah, Nick is
business
shooting.
DRX that was run by staff,
Like-
they were the best in the world at retaking. They were the best at having a setup, having utility put into play, sending in Buzz or sending in Izu in this case, and it works out for them. So I'm glad that that's the adaptation they've made. Now DRG aren't just going to sit there and let this game slip away. They've got to pause themselves.
Well, I think this is it. You know, at the start from DRG, you have this very oppressive opening duel ability. You fire in your utility.
I think
you take
T1
that
talked about
space,
taking Rebel
the
control
idea
in
is
their
a lot of
timeout.
the time you're going to be able to punish somebody who's
Yeah.
out of position. This is what we saw from this comp up against Team Liquid as well. But once that team starts to play in a way that they're not getting caught by it, they're letting you have
They
the
could have
space
fought
and
in Link to
fighting for it
saturate, yeah.
afterwards.
Or
Like
an
you said,
earlier
that's
Omen
what you're
paranoia.
doing here. You need to find that second layer. The thing is, with this composition, you have so many tools on your belt to play with. It's not a...
And ults are building.
There, absolutely. You've got that as well.
I
to
wish
fall
we could
back
see
on
in the
those
timeouts
safety
all
nets
the
that
money
we
and all
often
the
talk
ults.
about, but it's not a composition. It's that only works with one
Okay,
approach.
DRG need to win
That's
this
why I
one,
think it's so
or they
valuable.
are saving next.
20 seconds left before the round starts. That off of Izu seems to be putting
Ops
up a
coming
lot
out.
of value when it comes to these retakes, because for DRG, taking the space, not having a fight, they have to choose where they battle. And a lot of the time, when they go to swing into that angle to take that little bit of extra control, Izu's waiting there with the op in
What a
hand.
10 call out.
Time to jump.
Well, the other thing on the brink for the attack side here is going to be that economy. T1 take this round and they might even be able to extend into the lead off of it. Again, you see these passive angles being
this
held.
supposed to be
The
like a
operator
fake
brought
A
in
main
Easy
control?
once more just to passively hold A.
I feel like why isn't
An
anybody
already
like holding this?
massive group up from the defense on this B site. And elsewhere, just got DH. Jiggle peeking,
Maybe they
but
feel
has
like
now
they don't
been
need anybody
smoked
here.
off.
without a Viper wall to block any vision.
Much more defaulty from DRG. Ackerman looking for the fight.
Yeah, the offense looked like they were taking B and C main, bro. Nobody doing anything
Eventually,
at
they will group up. They had Demon 1 waiting outside of A, but the C site, this is where the hit's coming through. Stun, it's perfect. The TP used, but it doesn't
nice.
DH to safety.
Euro plus
T1
Breach.
still able
Breach
to pick
following.
him up.
That's pretty
And now
nice.
they've got control over C, but it's being fought for. Meteor stepped through the smoke.
The smokes are going in this time. You'd love to see that. Nice. What a nice execute. Euro Breach stun. DRG's attack side looks way better than their defense.
Talk about Izu's operator, how it started to put him on the board, put him in the kill feed on the right side of it too, but he'll hope that he's not appearing in that kill feed at all in this round. A save is called.
Yeah, that was really nice.
DRG as a result on 12.
Your world in professional Valorant.
Their map pick here.
That's why I got nerfed to 8
with a
orbs.
substitute and a man who hasn't played Vice before and an official. They are looking sublime.
Yeah, I think also just this round was a much more deep commitment for T1. What we saw in their last C-site hold was they were both
I also love seeing this out of
one
that
holding
way.
onto the cross to try and fight anybody as they dived in. I think DH gets caught there. Like they use
Waitley's just running out with their double dash active.
And there's no real way out. Izu, he's surely dead. No way he comes out of that one alive.
So as soon as she sees somebody, she can just dash around and just jump around.
More importantly, they are going into what could be the last round of the map with, well, I'd say a stinky buy.
Yeah, it depends where they settle on their investment.
I think I might have been wrong about
There will
Waylay.
be big
Everybody.
weaknesses for T1. And yeah, you know, you got rid of the rolling thunder.
I think I was wrong.
Dimensional drift from Spirit C1, fantastic. DRG don't have as much of a punch to pack in this round.
Here we go. Another main fight.
Safety nets, but let's see what T1 can do with this mix.
Wait, what?
Izu's got one. Buzz on the Bucky finds another in this round. Off to a flying start for T1. We thought they'd look weaker, but somehow it's like the cleanest start they've had.
Yeah, it started so weird. Ackerman flying over.
I think Nick
most
needs
of
to play
his
chamber.
enemies and then getting caught out, surprised.
That's
by
why they win
Izu.
Sunset.
A pretty hefty upgrade as well for Barzamon. Nick,
That's nice, right?
As optimistic.
Demon 1v5?
With the spike down, a 1v5.
Yeah, Waylay was completely lost. I don't know if
Needs
this is the ideal spot she should be dashing into.
Devil himself to show up to be able to eliminate the rest
I
of these
mean,
players. I don't think
I
it's
think
going to be
dashing
happening.
across is okay. Oh.
And even just damage here might help them out a bit. Instead, though, it's a flawless round. Buzz
Top
there
side is
to
really
close it,
risky.
and when T1 looked like they were dead and buried.
But I mean,
they
it gets
find
everybody
around.
looking up at you, and it gets a lot of info. I don't know if that's like the ideal TP spot. You'll subscribe if you aces.
The Hans have been huge, and at the start,
That was really nice, huh?
plays a similar role. Giving them that info, target selection for Buzz was easy as a result. And as you said,
I wonder if it's troll to time like a
ridiculous.
breach flash, vice flash, Waylay dash top rebel,
Great
or
fight
top
there
rebel.
as well.
I wonder if that's
This
troll.
is the round that should have seen T1
Yeah,
fade
Waylay had no idea what
into
planet she was on.
obscurity. Now
She was on
they
Mars or
fight
some
on
shit.
an even playing field against DRG for the final round of regulation. Overtime possible. For DRG, they're competing for their organization's first win on the international stage. Losing this, it'll be much harder.
Oh, already a solid
Alright, so we
start.
saw them take B before. They need to take something else.
Stacks and Meteor, though,
No,
fight
they can't.
back.
This is what I would see.
In turn, Stacks wanting
Oh,
to
the
get
spike's
back in
alone
there,
on
but he's got to
site.
be careful.
Oh no.
Low HP.
Oh god.
Demon 1 being revealed. Only has the shorty to play with, but now he gets
Oh my
the
god.
to take him back. Izu though is fought in
I mean,
fourth.
none of them have guns. Go, 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 go.
For man. Even still though.
Demon 1 had spike.
Yeah, look at the position of the spike, getting it back.
How did he survive? I have no
To be
idea.
able to block this, no, it takes more than one to do so, so that's at least
This should
spike
be a
back
crazy
into their
clutch if they
hands.
win this.
I am looking, however, at DH. He's making that read early that this team might just try a move for the A site.
Thing is, though, they're in this 3v2. Playing the retake could have a lot of value. For DH, he has to be very selective about where and when he fights.
Oh, it's very
already
remote.
drop down towards the A site. DRG, they might go to C, though. making their mind up as we speak. They know they've already taken out the Vice on the other side. Meteor's utility gone, but it will be the A side that's the ultimate target. A sneaky play here from DH, but it all comes down to timing. Nick is walking up on him, but they've decided to leave him 10 seconds.
Oh, no.
The plant has to be secured. DH, if he can just drop this spike, it could all be over here, and it's a little late. The spike gets planted, but Nick is left alone. If he doesn't find this pick, they will overwhelm him with numbers, and DH slips away to the tree. Nick against the world. He's had so many big plays. The decoy reveals him.
Oh, no way.
He collapsed it, but in the end, it's DH taking this across the line, bringing T1
There's no shot that was so
into
close.
an overtime, giving them a chance to deny DRG on a map where they've looked beautiful.
What an absolute mad round. Both teams kicking things off with a Steel Garden. Shorty being the gun of the round. And Nick, well, that was one hell of a try. He was actually stuck in place by a seize that was thrown by a stack. So he gets those first two, probably wants to try and move in that direction, but isn't able to reposition. And DH, once again, spoken about this youngster coming into the squad, replacing a member who helped bring home a Masters trophy. And right now, he is the best player in the server.
Well, overtime for DRG. They had the lead, they had the chance to close it, but now T1 could be right back to winning ways. On the attack side, guard T1, but look at this stack up from DRG. There's 4 players here. Previously, we've seen them fight tooth and nail for A, and T1 have been keen to take that
Yeah, it looks
space
like a
when it's
reclear of
given.
A.
But now it's a
I
trap
just get
that's
back, but
strong. Flex
that's a
through
good
the door,
reclear.
grabs one before falling. The numbers even. It's Nick with the pressure on his shoulders again. This time he delivers, but the slide in from Buzz, punished for the 2 versus 1. DH reads that that's the decoy. He might have to jump on Spirit C1, a 3rd kill. And the TP taken to the other side of the a plant and a 1v1. How many clutches has Demon 1v in? But this one, the most important of all.
TP up top. They open the door. So Demon 1 has tried to bait the idea that he is coming from this position, but I feel like it's going to take him so long to go all the way back around. And once that smoke fades, DH will have the idea that this man is no longer in position. In fact, it's such an obscure angle.
Where is it?
I don't even know if Demon 1 will expect this at all. And the
Nothing
problem
here.
is now that
Oh,
clock is
under my
starting
keyboard.
to tick, the doubt starting to be in
Thank
its
you.
mind. DH has played it to perfection again. Where have they found this man? A Red Bull clutch to give T1 a shot at map victory.
And don't get me wrong, DH has been playing the game all throughout regulation, but these last 2 rounds, he has hit another level entirely. What
Great
a
spot,
play
yeah, that was well
in the
played.
1v2. Catches both players completely off guard. And a 4K to deliver T1 the lead. 1 round left.
All right, we're taking a timeout.
They were trailing 12-10 with weak weapons, a Bucky
I want
in
to
play,
see.
a mixed bag across the board, and they came back in with a dominant win. But DH for 2, giving them the lead, and with a timeout
what
for
DRG sunset
DRG,
looks like. I mean, we only have the stats,
the team
so
that
it's
looks
hard to
set to
know.
close out this map. It's to set history for their org. Well, now they've got to climb back into the game.
It is
They only
funny
have
to
a
think
58%
that
win rate on sunset.
while we talk about Demon 1 not really playing for the last few months, when he was last playing, it was at least
So-
in the Tier 1 over in Americas. For DH, this is a guy who is
Yeah,
playing
they have a
in the Tier
38%
2.
win rate on sunset versus T1.
This is his first map on an international stage. I don't know if they're building these like young players in the lab.
53.
Like Caron felt like it was just cheating to have someone that good.
T1 picks
DH
sunset.
now
All right.
feels exactly the same, but 27 and 16. He is dragging players like Meteor, Buzz, Stacks,
What
Easy.
is supposed to be
People
the safe
have been
fight?
there, done that. got the T-shirt.
Omen gets his and falls back.
Potentially the first map, but boy, might just have to do it again. Buzz within the first seconds of the round.
Like, why can't we just take Rumble?
So impressive in those
Like, I think the whole plan was to have Omen drop from the top of the box.
Greetings. DRG were on the attack.
And then Neon swings, so it's kind of like a bait and switch. But like, why not just
with that, it looks like they'll still commit to this A site.
take Rumble? Yeah, they have an up on C, which is okay.
Players here. Stacks traded out. DH going to burn the paranoia just to deny the space. Slow them down.
Well, look at the rotation. Everybody's already
hit.
hit.
Fun, yeah.
Do they call for the rotate back? It looks like they will, but the Ops now in position. Holding that cross. Flexen's got him. Finding strength in the scars he's been dealt on A main. They'll still move towards this site. And the numbers are still here for T1. At least they were.
Yeah. Well, maybe the only one that really matters is still here.
Demon1's doing okay.
He would basically win them overtime if he can somehow
He's
hold
doing
on
his
to
job.
this 35
Yeah, check
seconds
his PC.
and
That was a no
decisions
shot.
are there to be made. Meteor has left his team. I'm surprised they're splitting up. I'm surprised that's the decision. And while this time DH can't save them, Ackerman will put him in the dirt and Meteor so far away. I'm not sure I agree with that. I think the best case they had was to try and fight it as 2. Now he has to find a 1v4.
There's chances. Now that he's been spotted,
Yeah.
There goes the ultimate on him. Okay, Ackerman will fall, but the spam's through the wall. Even us up to 13-13. Another overtime needed.
Yeah, another 1v4 clutch.
And for DRG, those opening picks on the
Alright,
attack
resetting
from
it.
Ackerman there.
Yeah, that is a pretty sick Rumble take.
Everything for this squad.
I think top
This
Rumble
is
is
like
a decent
when I go
spot
back
for
to the
Waylay
critique
to
I had of Izu in
dash
the
into.
defensive
It's just that if you
arc,
know
that's
that's coming,
why
it's really easy to annie.
Like,
So
you get in, get a kill, get out. He has no interest of like trying to double down, try and be a hero of the round. He's just get the opener and escape. And that's where I think Ackerman has truly been a force to be reckoned with. Now into that defensive round once again, and it's the same brawl.
another main player that doesn't work.
Yeah, T1 though, they sit behind Rubble patiently. Still those 4 players towards this site. T1 making a
So
quick
because the
read
defense
again.
don't have
They're
Rumble
giving up that
control,
space. What happened
they have to
last
commit
time? It was a
1,
trap play with
2,
a lot of
3,
players
4
in
players
position.
to all these chokes, I guess.
Expecting the same here, and although Izu stuck
Obviously,
around,
be
he has
dramatic.
that
They wanted to
gate
go for like a
crash used
repair.
early this
Because they
time.
didn't take it initially,
Won't
all the
make the
rotates
mistake
try to
he
whack
did
him
in
out after
regulation of
Demon1 to
giving them
try
the
and
picks. Now Thorns
kill everybody.
slow this push down, give a chance for the rotations. Demon1 won't fall for that spot again. But now they're closing in the distance. Well played to find the first. Spirit
he
C1
did well.
from the
Being by himself.
delivering again. And a 3 versus 2. The defensive round looking likely, but with Ackerman down, we're back to a 2v2, and T1 have got a plant.
Putting themselves in a position to turn this round on its head, have another chance at claiming the victory on their opponent's choice, but Flexen and Nick have an opportunity. The flash is going to slow them down even more. The aftershock
Izu
not
gets one.
quite
It's a big
finding
ult.
anything, but even still, it has cleared an angle. It has checked
Smoke
the
for
spot,
spike.
but that time
Nope,
is
yep, the
ticking.
spike was-
They need to get a move on. First contact in. Izu gets
Why don't we
one,
smoke-
and it is close. But Meteor will make sure
Why don't we smoke
that they're
spike?
the ones
I mean,
that get
I guess
another
smoking
chance at
on
victory.
site blocks off all like the waterfall angles or like all like the lower angles, but I feel like
Point for DRG. Last time it was a timeout called here.
we should just smoke spike now.
They saw it to correct course. And actually, I'm seeing in game it's going to be a timeout again, Tom, but it's T1 this time, taking the breather. Interesting call as they're in the lead, but they did let it
It's so
slip
priced, bro.
a couple of times. So
I'm more rested. I got my 7 hours.
I think also just, this is where you need a cheese round. This is where you need one thing
Greetings.
to work for your squad, and then you close out the map. This is the perfect time for the coach to come in, because realistically, if you're
Champs man was clean as
a
shit.
round down,
It's
you
really
take
nice.
a pause, you're basically looking to fix something
What
while
up,
you're
Invalid?
switching into another half. Like the rounds you've just lost, it would be irrelevant because you're not playing that side of the map anymore. Now, you're coming in, and it has only been those attack side rounds that have been working for either side. This is what they needed to fix. One defensive round, and this game is over, and the coach earns his money.
one of the big strengths for T1, thinking back on towards the end of regulation at 12-10 down, they go
Are
for this
stuck
all-out
iron?
play
Dude,
of
just play the
aggression
game.
towards A main, something that I think we're used
Turn
to seeing
your-
from
turn your monitor
DRG
on.
the defensive side. We're used to seeing from most teams, but it was getting Buzz into this deep spot, swing an open door, and having just this all-out brawl.
The focal point of
so
that
much space.
Play with your
Stacks.
thumbs.
He might be bottom of the board, but the amount of supportive assists that he has had.
His haunts are unreal.
Yeah, they have been, dare I say, some of the best I've ever seen. Like,
I think the Neo Frontier Sharp's
every
really nice.
single round.
I
In
think
fact,
it's
it
my favorite.
catches multiple people most rounds. Looking like it might be slightly different, though. You've got Izu set up outside of B. He's got that operator in hand, and they will take that control. But the second they take it, Stax is immediately back to go and support the other side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, the honk goes up and no utility as a response. Nobody seen. It's now time to reinforce this C site. But it might be too late.
Infernal
By the time
pop.
he gets there, they're already teeing up for
Thanks
the
for
push.
the raid.
DRG straight in. Meteor under pressure. He's surrounded. Stax comes in to help and finds the
Where
first.
is our
Finds
waterfall smoke?
another. Stax keeps delivering! And he might have delivered them the win! Nick, on a sliver of health, has to stand off against the op. And even then,
Wait, where's our waterfall smoke?
15 to 13, T1 climb back from what looked like defeat and claim map one. DRG's pick.
Do we just not have one?
Incredible start to this series.
Alright, well, we got a second. I want to go see what, I mean, they smoked A early in the round, sure, but, like, I feel like we're just constantly minding that waterfall angle.
After the break.
I want to see. What are we smoking
Now
early?
that I'm a mom, things are different.
We're smoking
Verizon's
him in.
different too. They let everyone in
Right.
my family choose different plans. We get what we want and we save money. Love that for me.
I mean, I guess, but it's not like the smoke is really doing that much.
An update is required. Financial system updating.
Smoke for spawn, waterfall's wide open. I mean, he swings it to try and kill it, but I don't know.
System updated. We will dance to get. The future of money is here. Feels good.
Oh well.
Esports World Cup, where we are starting off with Valorant.
If you want to win, you have to win against the best.
Yeah, I think they smoked it early, but
For revenge.
I don't really think it's anything. I mean, that happened multiple times. Did they paranoia? I didn't see it.
Finally, everyone. Finally.
Yeah, it was a decent first game for Demon 1. Map 1 is definitely over. Alright, let's do our predictions. Let's get this done. Who won yesterday? It was DRG, wasn't it? Yeah. There we go. Oh my god. Predictions are for like 30 seconds. I have to... Hold on. I'm gonna start a new one, hold on. No problem for like 10 minutes. Predictions are out. You guys wanna do them? Demon DRG? I mean, that's why I'm rooting for DRG. I mean, no. I don't think the defense was that great. this one's fucking hot.
Hey guys, Mika and Bella here with Autumn of T1. And now Autumn, this is DH's first international and he is popping off. We know back in Pacific that T1 has been preparing him for this very moment with events like T1 Homeground. But talk to us how the team, the Masters Bangkok champions, of course, have been preparing him for this very moment here on the champion stage.
오늘 경기가 DH 선수의 첫 국제전 데뷔이자 챔스 첫 경기였는데 오늘 너무 멋진 경기력을 보여주고 있습니다. 이제 방콕 마스터즈 방콕 우승자인 T1 선수들이 팀으로서 어떤 이야기를 해줬길래 이렇게 잘할 수 있었나요?
사실 팀원들이 그 친구한테 뭐라 해줄 필요가 없이 워낙 큰 무대에서 자신감 있게 할 수 있는 거를 증명했기 때문에 콜업이 된 선수여서 팀원들이 이제 하는 거는 그냥 하던 대로만 해라, 자신감 있게 해라 정도로만 하고 너무 잘하더라고요, 알아서.
Well, the team didn't really have anything to tell him because DH was called up. He joined our roster because he was able to perform well, be confident on big stages like this. He was born ready. And I guess the team just said, hey, just keep doing what you've been doing because we all saw how good DH was and he really proved himself today.
Well, he better keep doing what he's doing. He is a natural. Good luck on the next map. 감사합니다.
Like I said before, when has a Korean rookie ever failed us? What a debut for DH here on the global stage. I've got Dan and Doug here with me. Once again, these numbers, Doug, this is ridiculous. And if he keeps doing these, you know, he's going to have a nice time in Paris.
Yeah, I think he's going to do quite fine. The stats are fine, and they're good, and he put up really good numbers. But what impressed me most about this kid was how often he was in clutch 1v1 situations, and he was the one winning them out. And he was winning them out against the likes of, it felt like Demon 1 every time. He was constantly in those positions, but that boy stood his ground. He was incredible for T1.
I mean, pretty much the reason why they won this map too in that overtime, when he gets 4 kills as well to secure it, they go into that second one and finally they're able to close it out with stacks. DH has been incredible. He was good towards the beginning and he was good as well to keep T1 alive in this map.
Yeah, cool, calm and collected too from him. And it's time for our Verizon high-speed moment. And this one goes to what happened on round 8. What a fantastic retake from them. We saw so many of these as well. This wasn't an isolated incident.
No, I think there were really, really good protocols when it came to the retake situation for DRG, and I think this map does this clip does a really good job of doing it. I talked about it yesterday, I believe, not a huge fan of the Waylay, but I love the way they use the Waylay out there in order to take space, and then they swung behind it. I think so oftentimes that can be an issue. You can drop the ult, but do you have enough space? Do you boldly and do you confidently swing out to take those fights? And that's not always how it plays out. So I love the way they play that.
Especially because when you see T1 on the attack, they're very overwhelming. They'd like to take a lot of space. And if that doesn't work towards A side, as we saw multiple times in a row, they pivot very quickly towards B. So this time around, you see how it was a forced retake in a few of those rounds, but it was working out so well for the side of DRG.
Okay, so one of the things I love about international events is seeing the meta change. And this is a wild example of that. Again, not a huge Waylay fan at the beginning, but you've seen a lot of these teams double down on this Waylay flash setup. And you're seeing some of these to perfection on how they love to do it. And so the plan for DRG was either with the Neon, or with the Yoru, or with the Breach. This is a great example. You had the Yoru flash, you had the Breach flash, Ackman takes that space, pops up onto half wall, and is able to isolate those fights, and then gets out. And so as we see the meta develop in this tournament, I think we're going to see a lot more of that. What can you do to get Waylay in a really good spot to take a fight with flash, with setups, this, that, and the other, and then get the heck out of dodge? When you have a numbers advantage like that early in a round, you're set up so well to succeed.
You also see it on attack and some of the things that they were doing, trying to get that space early on towards Mount. And even if he doesn't capitalize with one of those kills, you still see how it forces a lot of that utility from the defense out to work out so well.
Yeah, I think that was the other thing I wanted to touch on. So even if it isn't necessarily a set, but to get a kill with a Breach flash, a Yoru flash, this, that, and the other, we saw so many times Omen flashes burn because they heard somebody out there, and then TP away. All of a sudden, you've got 4 or 5 rotating back to A when you thought there was more presence. C, the TP for Waylay, and then setting Waylay up to take those fights has been a ton of fun to watch.
My concern is DRG, they did let that slip. You know, when they were 11, 7, 11, 8 up, they should have closed that out. And also, they only won 9 gun rounds. 9! Which is absolutely outrageous given that it went to OT. So I can't wait to see what Nathan D had to say about what happened ahead of map 2.
Mika and Vera here with Nathan D of DRG. Now, just wanted to get your thoughts on the Yoru and Waylay composition because the team seems to have a really good understanding on it, especially on that map and especially with the retakes. Was this always the plan, especially with the recent roster adjustments?
想问一下教练，看到你们在图一是拿出了夜路加上幻冷的组合，并且看到你们的理解是非常到位的。那最近队内也有人员的变动，这一场的发挥在你们的计划之中吗？
我觉得我们今天的发挥的话，其实我是挺满意的。就是我们输掉一些可能残局上的处理，然后围垒的话也是我们可能想打得比较突然一点，给对面一点措手不及的感觉。
Actually, I'm pretty satisfied with all the players' performance today. Like for the Waylay pick, I just want to say we fixed some problems with the former Neon comps. We want to play more aggressive and maybe catch our enemy off guard.
Well, the team is looking good. Hopefully, you bounce back on the next map. Thank you.
One of the other things he was sort of alluding to is that where they lost was in the late rounds. You know, he was like, I'm happy with how he performed, but in the late rounds, there was a difference maker between us and T1, and he's right. But it does get scarier on Sunset. DRG, they really need to step it up.
I do think Sunset's a fun one because both teams are 4-1. Both teams have
I kind of want to give a little squish of that Tactic Bear. Tactic Bear's pretty cute.
So you've got
now, DRG don't have a great win rate on this map. I do kind of want to see them bust out something cool.
And then you've got
That'd be pretty
T1
interesting.
who's bested RQ on Sunset twice. So
Put
these are
Demon on
strengths
Chamber.
for both teams. I'm curious about what the heck is Demon 1 gonna play? And do they double down, which I think they will. I mean, I'm inclined to believe they will. Do they double down on this Flash Waylay situation? I think Sunset kind of lends itself to it a little bit more, to be honest.
If it helps, Demon 1 has only ever played Raze and Jet on Sunset, and nothing else.
Don't think he'll be playing either of those this time.
Think they'll Waylay again?
Yeah,
They could.
We'll see. Let's take
We
a
saw,
look at Agent
I
Select
forget
now
which
and
team
see
ran it the
where
other
we
day.
are
It
going
wasn't
to
bad.
Go with this. It's Cypher. It is, I guess, stepping in 1-for-1 at this point.
Demon 1 for
Yeah,
the Cypher.
we
I'm
had the
lucky.
question because it didn't really happen in that map 1, but going into this map 2 of Sunset, it's going to be Demon 1 on that Cypher, and they're going to continue playing this double duelist with that Neon and that Yoru.
Yeah, the real difference here is the fade over the Sova. I think this puts us into this conversation we've been having around Demon 1 on an island, on the Cypher specifically. This feels like they've just slotted him exactly into the plans that they wanted to have prior.
They've done the swap again. It's Izu, Yoru, and Buzz Neon. Do you like this?
Yeah, it's now 2 maps in a row where they seem that this is like a very intentional thing. I'm curious, is it a comfort situation? Does Izu just feel more comfortable on the Yoru? It's tough to say, really.
And also in the map 1, we saw so many great duels between Demon 1 and Meteor. Now they're in the same agent. They're both playing Cypher. They're going to that second map. I want to see more of those duels again.
I can't wait to see it. Let's jump into game and throw this back to Mitch and Tom.
Fritz's playstyle? Yeah, but I wanted to see a chamber.
Thank you, Yinsu. It's time to get into
I
map
wanted to see
number
a jet.
2. The first was a tight affair, but T1 are leading by 1 map. And this is their choice on Sunset. Another debut for Demon 1 as he picks up the Cypher.
Wouldn't make much sense,
sticking
but
onto that role as we would
funny.
expect.
Yeah, I like the fact that DRG have not come in and try and change everything up around him. You're the team that qualified. You're the team that made it. He's got a slot into your right. And I don't think, like, by any stretch of the imagination, he came in trying to change it either. Cypher definitely can be tougher on that hole.
Big A put off the rip.
At least for
Frenzy
now,
goes down. Got a bunch of ghosts. The one
DA
Frenzy didn't land a single
continuing
shot.
How he did on the last map.
The Frenzy is so hit or
Fantastic
miss.
individual performance. And wow, a recovery already needed in this pistol. It is a firing
nice.
squad with DH leading the scoreboard already. And while Buzz is
That was
there
nice.
to close it out, a pistol round for T1.
A solid start indeed for T1 as DRG trail by 1, but they were able to make the fight fairly early on in the previous. See if that'll be the case again. DH, well, he was certainly a man that drew our eye throughout the entirety of regulation over on Lotus, but in those last couple rounds, the last round of regulation, especially the first of overtime,
yeah,
he seemed like a one-man army.
Well, for a 19-year-old playing his first map on an international stage, and it's a Champions, that was about as good as it gets.
Yeah, especially in the late stage. Pressure was on for DRG. The pressure increases. They need 2 maps in a row. And starting out with a 1-0 loss, and Meteor's playing incredibly
Kind of a crazy
aggressive
team from the Cypher to
with
take
the
out
Marshall
against
in hand.
Mika.
I think he's hit 0 shots.
Yes, they were mostly through the smoke, so I'll give him that credit.
Yo,
but,
DRG's
it
classic's kind
certainly
of sick.
scared DRG away. They grabbed the Rorb, and move towards middle. This is all classics, nothing upgraded.
There we go.
Yeah, the
really
mark
don't
was
expect to see a lot of contest. Meteor good for 2 at least. The player spotted crossing with a jump scare from Buzz. And they're losing a few,
Oh.
but that's a
They lost them.
pick.
Oh.
Okay, now I'm getting worried.
Oh my god, what are these
really
classic
worried.
shots?
And they know where DH is as well. This man's been so reliable, but an early response like this from DRG.
Oh my god.
This
He
could
hasn't got a
really
gun. There we go.
disrupt the rhythm. A
How did
rifle
this even
with only
happen?
30 HP, Tom. He's got to get the
A
jump on
headshot
DH.
will do it. That's the thing. DH has light
You
shields,
jinxed him,
so
Seeker.
a single bullet
You jinxed
to the face
T1.
would be enough to win the round. Now, he believes that he has baited
30 seconds left.
DH, but DH has just sat at the bottom of middle. He's waiting on this fight, and it gets a little bit scary.
Oh my god, he wasn't even ready for
But
it.
that youngster is the safe pair of hands again. He's looking to try and get the
Oh,
rifle,
look at the Vandal.
and he
Or
will
the
find
Phantom.
it.
Yeah, that's at least a silver lining, but the same as the previous map. It's great damage from DRG. They had nothing. And a few more bullets loaded up into that Marshall, and maybe this could have been a clean round, but the fact that these classics are able
Yeah,
to
dude,
win
imagine being
fights
19,
like
you're
this
competing in
from
front of
Ackerman straight
hundreds
down
of
middle.
thousands of people.
I made that incredibly close, and you can see how tense it got on T1
I can barely get
side
up
of
and
the
do a
stage. They
PowerPoint
win it,
presentation from
but
my
again,
class.
They
Look
have
at
to
this-
invest
Look at
fully.
this round. Oh, it's a singular rifle being put into the hands of Buzz. The rest really isn't much, but well, if Buzz is playing like this, maybe it won't matter. This is a terrible bonus
Jesus
round
Christ,
coming in
just
from
A
T1,
fights
but
over and
somehow
over.
it's working. They came in with a singular rifle, I think a stinger and a few pistols.
Yep.
And now Demon 1 has to try and save DRG from, I want to say, embarrassment.
Now, this is not a round they should be losing. But Demon 1 in a 1v3. 2 players on that angle. Spike secured as well. He's got all the info to work with now at least, but what is that
he
going
knows
to do
where all
for him?
at.
And I love this positioning as well. Look how spread out they
Yeah,
are.
it's a
Buzz
crazy
to take
cross.
contact on his right, and then a big swing from
Oh,
Izu.
man, leaves.
He's tucked in though.
Nice.
Set himself up for success, Demon 1 did, but Buzz, the one to carry this round through for T1. I'm thinking before we get back into the game, okay, they've got to fully invest, right? We get in a barrier up, they've got nothing. Oh, it's an easy round. That's what you would think, but Buzz made it an uphill battle, and they came tumbling down. 3-0 start.
Again, you just talk about the supportive utility, the paranoia that came through. I think Stacks is the one that, yeah, he puts that dart into the corner, and as they swap,
That was a
to
nice jump
look
peek around
to
that
the
corner.
dart, that's when Buzz peaks. Like, it's just a perfect setup for that exact push. And while
Stinger
DRG
market
fell
rush?
into the trap, they
We have
lose
4
to an
stingers come from the
incredibly weak
offense.
bonus, and T1 have got a flying start.
I feel like they're about to send it through market.
Now this round, light shields across the board. Easy with the outlaw.
One person name in.
A lot of stingers, though.
Yeah, they've got to get close. That's the real problem. Those shots don't land. The gate crash is used to get out of dodge before
I
that's
feel like
a
this
little
smoke
too
is really
scary.
bad against
Now,
Nico.
Those stingers are nice and close. All of these fights look maybe even favorable for them. T1 have to group, take these fights together.
Kind of just gave
Zizu
him like
looking
space
for
to play with
someone
on
on his own,
site.
but around that laneway, when they come to push back in, that's where DRG really pack a punch, not just on close range, but with the numbers by their side as well.
Yeah, I feel like that stinger was just a, that smoke was just a really bad idea.
This could be DRG's round. A return.
That smoke was just a bad idea.
Thrifty as they
By
put
smoking
one
like
on
this,
the
you just
board
allow the
on
offense to
their
walk
weaker
in,
round.
and you're denying these
That's
fights from
one
spawning.
way to reset after a third
So you just
round
let them on the site
embarrassment.
basically.
If we could just swap the last 2 rounds over, I think we have
All
a
makes sense.
perfectly normal game, but no.
Well, I guess you also
it is
win.
just the pace they were able to get in. Obviously, Buzz was so low. That second kill was very easy, but
That's more just
then onwards, it's just stellar work. Playing these close range angles, knowing the vulnerabilities of their weaponry, and while Flexin and Spirit Z1 have now given them a round they never should have had. Balance restored, 3-1, and this is where we'll see the buy. A pretty strong one coming back up for T1 with an operator for Izu.
So far, the best rounds from DRG, where they've got 4 stingers.
One
and the
person up on aim in.
next best was when they had classics. And it wasn't a pistol round either. A very, very strange start.
1, 2, 3,
This
4
has
players.
been an unusual series, looking back at Lotus. Now rifles invested on both sides. For
So we're gonna
T1,
get broken in mid.
taking a pretty heavy blow in the
Looks like
last.
they might wanna go for a
3-0 start,
mid-run
especially when they
reclear.
didn't buy in round 3. That's going to give them enough to buy right back into this. Buzz has ultimate to work with, but I'm looking at the other side for DRG. Ackerman one away, but Spirit Z1 already has that dimensional drift, and on the attack side, that's probably going to be used here to clear up all this space and maybe stop Izu from having the impact with the operator. He's on the angle, waiting for his chance to strike, and there it is. The gate crashed back to safety. But Spirit
He said,
Z1,
look, you're in here, but I feel like
he's got the sight for
when we used to play ranked.
Just clearing out any
That's what that looked
risky angles will allow the rest of the team to run through clean. Although saying that, Meteor's managed to find one on the cross. I think that's Demon 1 trying to jump around the edge, and instead another solid paranoia thrown through.
All T1 here, it's good flood.
A little bit more. The TP to the other side. It leaves Nick, but he's done well. He's managed to make this one look interesting. Flex implants on the other side of the map, and now has a 1 versus 2 to play with.
Flexen's first half on Lotus was a disaster class. It was picked off in aim A, and it felt like in every round. But here's his chance. He certainly warmed up in the second. Now carry through that
so
momentum.
anywhere. Could have gone to market.
1 versus 2.
Could be wrapping
He's got
them.
Izu and
Could be
DH,
on site.
2 big players for
Could be
T1.
main. That's a really
The
good
operator
fun spot.
swapped out. It is just
Fun
the
for everyone.
rifle, but Flexen isolates 1. 10 bullets left, but time ticking.
This
Playing
smoke creates
inside
so
the
many
smoke.
question marks.
He can challenge as soon
Oh,
as it
no
happened.
way.
Izu, he expected
Yeah,
it.
he's pissed.
Lands the shot with
I'd be
plenty
pissed.
of time. I think he's putting the gate crash through to attempt to reclaim that up, but surely it's too far.
What?
He's not going to get it. Even still, though, a very nice attempt for the remaining couple of players to teleport to the other side of the map. Nick being able to get a couple, and then coming down to the wire. This reaction shot was tasty from Izu.
Man, that is so disheartening.
Even he's impressed with himself. And what could have been a close clutch for DRG ends up putting them back. And a problematic
All right,
scenario.
back on the Stingers.
Then again, you said it yourself. They did better with the Stingers.
Yeah, we're right back
Fatal
to
Neon
it.
ult. Did they use either one?
Only 2 Stingers this time. They've still got those rifles to back them up. Demon 1 and Spirit Z1, the carriers of the heavy weaponry. And this will be, again, a round where
They have
DRG
they have
move
the hardest
together.
read right now.
So, still going to be
nice shot.
disrupted by Izu, and
Second set
nasty
for A.
angle in mid. That's Ackerman down, and especially in a round like this, Tom, especially with a Stinger, seeing him slide in and get up
These
close,
guys are just
close
cruising
that
spawn.
distance,
It's on
gain
30
you
seconds.
space.
That's all I have.
You really want your Neon for
Yeah, there's a round.
like this huge pick from Izu, and he keeps the control on mid as well. That gate crash, not even that close to fading, so he can stick around for quite a while.
It's been 40 seconds. All they have is
Able
beam
to
in.
clear him either. So he's still going to have this very fast flank, and because of that, they have a very good idea that there hasn't been a rotation. 3 players still committed to this B side of the map as they look to try and make their way through.
Oh my
a missed
God.
shot by DH though. That's given them an opportunity on DRG. When they got the plant, that's where things changed with Stingers in hand. This time it's beforehand. When Flexen goes diving into market, they've got good control, and Demon 1 lands his shot on backside. Stax might have to back off. He's sticking around. He's getting up close. And he'll get the jump on Flexen, but the correction for Demon 1
I don't know how
isn't
they brought
there.
this back.
Meteor alone, and Nick will put him in the grave.
It's definitely losable.
They
We
really
lost in
are
the round.
better
We
when
lost in
these
the round because we
weaker
talked about
weapons
it.
come out a second round for DRG.
I'm not sure it's they. I think it's Flexen.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Flexen's just
100%.
very, very good with the Stinger. Like, he's a little bit more aggressive in the way that he plays. Like, just looks to try and get up in their face the second he has this gun. And yeah, look, just look, he's TPing into
The Stinger's
angles,
so good.
just playing up close. And Demon 1 also having a solid round at that. Definitely some frustration, and you can understand why. They've lost 2 rounds, and both of them, the core of it, has been Stingers.
And that puts him on
Yeah,
an
those are
eco.
the rounds that, you've already done the hard work. Then it's just about converting your advantage, doubling down on it. Aggressive play, Flexen under pressure. Stax already wrapping around, and Flexen won't escape. The wall bang to connect the pick and get a rifle.
Let's
Or the
start.
Team 1 side, it's the only one they have to work with. Look at DRG, they're walking into the spawn. They're taking a very deep fight. Meteor
Everybody goes in
contain
the
them at
spawn.
least alongside Buzz. It's all about avoiding that rifle for them.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they go into A, they're actually going to plant for backside. I don't mind this, but it does mean that they're almost completely surrounded. Stax is
What's
actually going to try and
the
utilize
first plug in
Lotus
the-
Fury
on the
and the
right
rest of them while this is going on,
Oh.
putting the pressure onto Spirit Z1. They keep the
We just talk
advantage.
all the time, me and him.
And Izu is now the one that's been given that rifle. It's whether or not they can retrieve the other. Doesn't seem like it. They're going to split back in the other direction, try and group up as DH still creates the illusion that there's a player here. And in the meantime, Izu goes walkabouts. Now they have the dimensional drift. They can find everyone else.
Drops the rifle over as well, picks up another as he's running around the site. Ackerman and Nick have their work cut out for them. Ackerman good for the first, and the trade out makes it possible. But Meteor's classic is what takes them across the line.
This game is weird.
Course correction from T1, but I don't know what is going to happen next here. As a MasterCard Thrifty won out by the defensive side. Continues the madness of not just this map, but this series.
So yeah, you've got the first 2 rounds, then you've got T1 winning a round that was 1 rifle, pistols, and a stinger.
Yep.
Then you've got the opposing side winning around with almost all stingers.
Yep.
Then a normal-ish round. And then, well, actually, no, it was an 8 HP clutch. Never mind, wasn't that normal. Then you have another stinger round, and then you have this round. It's weird. And, well, T1, I'm sure Autumn, he's kind of got to retract his slamming on the table, because now they've ended up in, I guess, an even better
with the
spot.
cage.
They're up against
That's a really nice
Stingers
cage.
again.
It stops them from coming out.
We've seen it with 4. We've seen it with 2.
These are warning shots. He's spraying the stinger. He's like, now they know I'm coming.
Well, they certainly do. All that utility fired through, but Spirit C won the first of all. Flexing again, but Stack steps up. A 3 versus 2 that they find themselves in. The TP to backside for early control, and it might not even be needed. Demon won all alone. Last time, he had a pretty hefty disadvantage, but this 1v3, a Guardian in hand. And a good idea of where this player is. He is checking this left corner. DH needs to be quick on the trigger, and he will be shut down. The spike, though, is not in a good position. With no cage left to cover the cross, that off could... What? A jump shot with the Guardian. That's one hell of an attempt. Now he knows that that op is on the other side, but hitting this shot will be difficult. Uses the cam to bait him out, and he's done so successfully, but he can't land the shot, and the stun sends him running back. The classic round the corner, that's a risky play. They've given Demon one a chance,
He's one bullet.
and he may land this shot, but it's 1 bullet in the man.
He was indecisive. He wanted to land the 1 shot, but they kept switching between Classic and the Guardian.
6-2 on the board. Again, though, anything but a normal round.
Yeah, I feel like they
So
fully
close.
believed he was hit by that stun. That's the only reason
Everybody
I
wants
can
to
think of
see the
that
Demon one
Izu would
clutch.
run around that corner with a classic, but
That's a nice free
it
transfer.
just feels like at times T1 want to make this as uncomfortable for them, and I'm guessing their fans at home as possible because that was way too close.
What does Cray mean?
Who's Greg?
Oh.
Pals here?
Yeah, who's Greg?
I think it might be that he's cracked. I'll tell you that. 6-2. The lead for T1.
Well, they find it funny.
They've been slamming desks in the coaching booth.
I need sort of like that side by side. Like just like Autumn
the tech
slamming
boss.
the desk and then cut to DH just laughing his head off.
Yeah.
Like it's just the parallel of the coaching staff versus in the server, and I can definitely understand why, because although they are winning in some of the weirdest ways I've ever seen.
Without a doubt. A 4-round lead, but with the way this game has gone, it could be swinging either way. For DRG, though, this is a disastrous start. Of course, they're on their opponent's map pick, and having been so close to closing out Lotus. A few big clutches, big rounds from DH, the man that was happy down on that stage. That's what robbed them of it. And now you start to be left in the dust as T1 run away with it despite
Guys,
incredibly
just
close
made a chicken
rounds,
salad,
despite
and this is the best thing in the whole world.
winning 2 where they had extremely
Because she made it with love.
light buys.
And it is
Essentially
really
saving
tasty.
their credits for the next and somehow finding it there, but when the next came, it was defeat.
They also lost to in the exact same way.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
perfectly balanced.
In essence, yes, but in the feel of the match, no.
This does look like a
I
2-0.
feel like the last map was a lot closer, but not with this much insanity.
Yeah.
But hey, for Team 1, they're on their map choice. At times, they have been fairly dominant when it comes to the defense, but in their most recent match versus RRQ, it was the attack that
Up the
they ran
line.
away with. So, scoreline alone, I think they'll be very happy with the position they find themselves in. At the same time, in their most recent victory versus BLG, it was a 10-2 defensive half
there you go.
for DRG. Now, saying they can recreate that, again, with how things are going so far, maybe not so likely. They're going to want at least a little bit of wiggle room.
I mean, I don't know much more they can involve Demon 1. He's playing Cypher.
The interesting thing about this, and I know you folks are getting your stage shots, but when we get back into the game, you'll see that T1 actually left in a suboptimal position.
What do you mean? They have a Stinger. That's a great
They have
gun.
to play with a Stinger despite winning 2 rounds in a row, and I think that really tells the story of how this has gone. A streak of 2, but every round has been so damn close.
Well, what I've been told as well is that although we do currently have ourselves a technical pause, DRG are going to take a tactical pause directly after this. So this may be a...
Your pick'ems are cooked.
A slightly
DRG
elongated pause
over
for
T1.
more than one reason, because I can understand why. Like the manner in which you're losing a lot of these rounds are like, I feel like a lot of control has been given over on B main. I feel like they've left a player there lurking to try and hold on to it. I don't think they've had too much success when they've gone for these more direct A hits. And other than those B hits with low buys, there hasn't been anything that's worked for them on the attack side, and that is alarm bells. Because if you get those couple of rounds, you build off it, you start getting yourself into the half, you show something with your buy rounds that you're able to sort of maybe bait players into certain fights or get certain map control, then I'm not worried for you. But when they're the only rounds you're winning, that shows it's only these cheese rounds where you're able to get up close in someone's face and spray them down with an SMG. That probably means that this attack side is as going as bad as it could be, and you've just had a little bit of luck that's helped you out. So I'm definitely nervous for DRG, because as we sort of mentioned, the importance not only of this match, but the whole tournament, of them not just trying to battle the champions, which is the goal of everybody's year, but also they still have their life on the line for just being in Tier 1. They are one of 2 teams that is the case. And you then have to consider the group that they're in. Like, okay, sure, a match versus Sentinels is a tough one, but you're going to be up against either the previous year's Champions finalist or G2, who most people coming into this event put them at least top 2. Like, you're either having them or PaperX, who's probably favorites for the whole thing. So it is seeming like the loser of this match has got a tougher match in the lower bracket.
And I want to look back at the previous map. You know, DRG, they didn't win the first half. They were 7-5, but we talked about their attack side, playing with the Waylay Yoru, and how much benefit that's going to bring to them. Now, coming into this one, 6-2 down, and a chance for this to extend further for T1. Where do you see, from this point, the goalposts for DRG being? Where do they have to hit to give them a chance in half number 2?
It's difficult. We do now head into our DRG tactical timeout. As said, that was coming. The producers did not lie to me. They only do that to fans. But nonetheless, back to your point, I think that I kind of want to see them try and level this up, because sure, a 10-2 defense last time out, but versus BLG the time before, 8-4 attack, versus XOG 10-2 attack. They've proven that they're good on both sides of the map. But I just think it's going to be more difficult when your Cypher is a stand-in. Like, a lot of the time, if you look at the way Cypher is played on this map, it is an anchor hold of the B site quite regularly. A lot of information to be found around middle and in towards B main. Well, even if just the communication is a little bit off, that means Demon 1 has to kill a whole team as they run into the site. I don't believe that he's going to be able to do that. He needs to have those supportive bits of utility to help him. So I think, if anything, the ease should be more so on that attack side, especially when you got this double duelist. Like, you need on the defense to have that push on one side and him as the hold on the other. On the attack, you can be a little bit more loose. But thus far, the loose style has meant that someone is getting caught in most rounds early, because T1 aren't just sitting back and letting you have that control.
Well, this should be the easier, as you said, Tom, for DRG to put the pieces together with the stand-in. So far, they have yet to win a rifle round, and now is their chance to right that wrong. Ackerman back to winning ways in those early fights. Paranoia sent through, but that doesn't stop them as Demon 1 picks up another, and another stacks down, but DH in the corner has a beat spot.
Oh my God.
He'll only get 2. Demon 1 saves them. Meteor left alone in a 1v3. That could have been a nail in the coffin of DRG. I don't know how that corner was left for so long.
Just
especially when the paranoia was thrown through from that position. But they've righted the wrongs here, at least.
I guess it just literally came down to we've killed enough people, there couldn't possibly be another one in the corner. And honestly, for DH, it's a nice try. Like, you look at that with so many players open and you go, maybe he should have got all of them, but he was able to at least take 2. The problem is the damage was already done, and thankfully for the rest of the players, Demon1 was quick enough on the trigger to be able to take him down. And Flash as well.
Yeah, that was a crazy
Buzz
flash.
was so unbelievably blind.
Phenomenal flash from Spirit Z1. That got way too close in the cubby. And, you know, you can't put your head that low, too, from that position. It's far more than he should have been allowed to get. But just one more, and that's a completely different scenario we're looking at. DRG, 3 rounds on the board. Their first rifle round secured, but not without its bumps. Unfortunately, we are back to attack pause, a delay in the momentum. Although, to be fair, I think a lot of these players will be happy to take a breather.
Maybe not so soon after the last one.
Yeah.
Definitely a stop-start. I don't think it's alarm bells just yet for the side of T1. I think that last round was very much just an all-out brawl, similarly to what we were seeing on Lotus on that A side of the map, just everybody diving in with their utility. And it has felt like a very 50-50 fight, whether or not Buzz is going to be able to just dominate, or in this case, where Ackerman has the supportive utility needed. The question will be if DRG can build off of this, because, yeah, if everybody fights in one spot on the map and you come out on top, it's not like a round where I'm going, you're going to be able to do this every single time. Like, if the paranoia lands a bit earlier, maybe Buzz gets a few. If the flash isn't as good as it was, maybe it doesn't go down. Like, these are rounds that are still difficult to repeat, but definitely good to see that they've at least managed to get themselves one that isn't just Stingers running at people.
Yeah, absolutely. But even then, it requires Demon1 to pick up 3 very important kills. The first 2 trades on the initial fights.
All right, what's my first word?
The third one, picking up a ball that was dropped far too quickly and without a moment of thought.
Give me a first word, everybody.
For DRG. Even coming straight out of that timeout, you could see there were blips. And as I said, the surprising thing to me was that DH was the one to throw that paranoia so early on. He was stood in the same spot as he was when they came to push.
Well, it seems like this one is going to be a little bit longer, as we will be swapping out a PC, but luckily we're not going to leave you bored. Before the tournament,
swapping out a
we had,
PC?
of course, to get that script meeting
I can only do one.
ready and going, so let's see how that went.
Horny? Or freak?
Bye, guys. See you guys.
Now let's put that down.
I already told you, I'm not buying your bundle.
Let's do Freak. Freak was one of the first ones you got.
Let's do another round of revisions to make sure
to be
it's
fair.
fully actionable on our end.
If they have our region, come in second again.
There we go. Okay, well, Freak wasn't any of them, so it means Brennan gonna be anything.
From all stakeholders for an EMEA final.
Actually, guys, I have an insane idea. Map 5, overtime, 15-14. I am 1v3 down, and...
Sure you want to do yikes?
Really, really low time.
So repeating a few words here, a few
to
letters.
spike, and then, boom, take 5.
Boring. A grand final without the Americas? That's
Sweet.
crazy.
Demon.
You know we bring the viewership, right?
No, it can't be Demon, there's no E. It can't be Sweet, there's no E.
Ignore him.
So we
Jumps?
got to
Jumps.
So,
Oh my god, we are horrible at this game.
I invited him. He needs to tell his region. EMEA is not going second against the Pacific team again.
This chicken salad rocks, by the way.
Hello, hello everyone.
Hey guys.
What's up? Hello.
Hello, hello. Wait, I thought we are finalizing this one in Paris.
That's boring. We've done this already in Toronto. There is nothing like a good redemption arc. EMEA deserves this.
Hey.
Salad?
There are more changes
No, go
to
away.
the script again. But you
Start
already know
with the
my
end.
thoughts on
Why are you
this.
spoiling it for me? Don't spoil it.
Let's touch base
Share?
once we
Can't
are
be
in
an
Paris.
So Doyle.
Did we discuss which teams to get kicked out? All
Soils?
America's teams this time?
I'm trying Soils. God, I'm so good.
Yeah, I wish it
You guys are getting shit on.
hates Cubert. Who doesn't hate Cubert?
Yeah, keep
It's okay. Well, we already got spoiled. It starts with an end, so feels like this.
Okay. So
Oh, it's
let's
noise.
just undo all of the changes, specific main,
Noisy.
and start over. Once you're
I'm so
in
smart.
Paris, it will be great.
God, I'm such a
really,
genius.
really great. Just trust me. I think we will work out a storyline that everyone can get behind.
What game should we play next?
Everything sounds good for me. Thanks for following up.
I can only do one series today, by the way, guys.
Alright, cheers to the meeting,
Well,
guys.
kinda. I don't know. You guys think streaming is worth it for me? Let's have a talk. Because all the time that I spend
Et on en profite pour avoir deux fans français de T1 à mes côtés.
Streaming?
William et Antoine, c'est un plaisir de vous
I
avoir
could be
ici.
spent making
Very
breakdowns.
glad to welcome two
I think you guys would rather have my breakdowns than my streams.
William and Antoine, and the first question I wanted to ask you boys is, how does it feel, you know, having champs at home and seeing your favorite team here in Paris? Du coup,
You know?
qu'est-ce que ça fait d'avoir les champions à la
And I
maison,
could-
pouvoir voir
I
votre
could,
équipe ici aux arènes?
I could write my videos on stream, but I don't think you guys want to watch that. It's not very interactive. You guys want to talk to me and interact with something. And I just don't really want to show you guys how I make my scripts because, I don't know, kind of like my trade secret. So I don't know, today might be the last stream. Because I'd rather just make my breakdowns, you know? That makes sense. Alright, let's start playing. Potato? Solid.
You can hear the gunshots so much louder, and it feels insane to have it in our
Yeah, I don't think it's a big deal if I end
of course.
streams.
And the second question I wanted to ask you about T1 is, who is your main character in that team? Who's going to carry, you know, the whole team? Donc c'est qui pour toi le personnage principal?
Does it need to have the
chez
O
T1?
in it?
Oh,
I've never played this before. Ha. It's too short? How long is it gotta be?
Effectivement, so Buzz, obviously.
Depth. I like how, like, I just said how I'm not gonna stream anymore, and we just keep playing Wordle, or keep playing Spelling Bee. I think it needs some hot. It's too short.
He has an insane impact, and I agree with you on that. Definitely. Merci beaucoup à tous.
Yeah, I'm sitting here going, hey guys, I don't think I want to stream anymore, because I'd rather make YouTube breakdowns for you guys. And I'm getting messages like, Depth, Toad. DOTR? Is that a word? There's no R in here. Dote? A word? Alright, I don't know what it means.
To this map. Make it all the way to Ascend, buy us a third map, and maybe
Toad.
take their
Fire.
first series alongside their first map win. But to do that, they've got to defeat that team
Potted.
on the other side. Who,
I'm
as
so
you can hear in the
fucking
crowd,
cool.
They've certainly got some fans out here. Buzz and Meteor, the Buzz chant. I like hearing that. Yeah. But
Isn't
I think
taupe
it's a
a
great
color?
point as well
Yeah.
about Meteor that we heard
That's
from
not how you
those
spell it.
fans that he might not be top fragging, but his impact is tangible. There's a reason the man's been voted an MVP before, and
Doot.
he certainly set out
Not a
to try
word.
the two-time here at Champions. A long road ahead of
Doot.
him now.
Although when he was MVP, I think he was top fragging a lot. Like,
A lot of people vote based on the scoreboard, Tom.
Yeah.
Any cheaper, it'd be just me and a bottle of scotch.
W stream.
Nonetheless,
Who just threw money at me? I didn't get a notification for it.
launch him back into the game. Hopefully, unlike
Shit's
an
so
RGA
chopped. I didn't get a
match,
notification for
he's
that.
already got the bind
Who just
done
threw bits
now
at me?
to defuse the spike.
Oh, you're going to bring Samuel Etienne up here in Paris? That's a bold
Cool.
move, Tom.
It's alright, he's probably watching the French stream.
I hope so for your
Solid.
sake.
They're in house, you know, I'm sure he's chilling, but yeah, I think obviously the extended break not ideal for.
Who
any
just
of the
threw bits at
players
me?
down
How
on
come I don't see the
stage, but
notification?
For DRG, maybe a little bit of a momentum breaker, not only them winning the last
Yeah,
round,
look
but
at
also
Streamlabs.
just the way that the map was going, if you just joined us, was very much they were only able to win a couple with stingers, and with the rifles they were really struggling. They did just manage to win.
I'm gonna
their
find this
first.
out.
Unfortunately, we're not seeing much Gecko.
No, the Gecko fans have been starved for attention so far. Maybe that'll change as the tournament goes on.
It's actually just Gecko's looking for his wingman at the moment.
Oh,
Can't
so
go
he
in
can't
with one of
play.
the abilities.
That's true.
He's been heavily nerfed.
But yeah, as we get back into things fairly soon, obviously, as you guys know at home, there was a PC swap needed down there.
Mr. Beast.
Always takes a little bit of time, but
Thanks, Des. Mr. Beast
Last
sends
time
$2.
coming out of one of these tech pauses, we had
I don't know why I didn't get that.
pause. And what I like about this little break is that although we might
I
not be
saw
touching base
Oath.
with the coaching
Oath
staff,
solid.
RGLs have had quite a long time to think about things. I think that will benefit more towards DRG.
Teapot.
Those struggles. They just
Teapot's fire. You guys are really good at this game.
To streak two together because again they've been doing the real
Jess, look at this one. You looking at the screen?
Rounds with stingers and then losing when they've got rifles in hand.
Firing shots at stacks.
No, I'm
Missing letter, huh?
that will need to build
Oh, this is so stupid. I didn't know you needed this on your letter.
Because they've had the issues. T1 are 6-3-0.
One of our,
they just lost their stats negative.
Most iconic
Heat.
I can't believe you take
I spelled it like in.
I
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
I was very gentle as well. I didn't want to hurt the wrist. You know me.
Hopped or hoped.
I
think it's hopped.
Yeah. You're almost as strong as Flex.
Tooth. Oh, solid.
Just can't quite see it.
Too close. They're too thick.
I'm seeing headphones going back on.
Did you popped already?
I know, honestly, this whole game, like, I think
Potter.
we came into things with the team coming in with a stand-in, that stand-in being Demon
Potter
1,
did that.
switching over to the
Alright, I
Chinese
heard that we're
region
getting
to
ready
try and make
to
this
play a
work,
game.
and he has been impressive.
Potato
He's had
already
a
did.
lot of high-impact rounds. He's had a lot of moments where I think that you can see that the individual level is definitely still there, especially slotting into a role that isn't necessarily one that's his own, especially known for his more duelist / chamber play, but he's definitely looked comfortable within this squad, and obviously we're kind of having an eye on the double duelists of Ackerman and Spirit Z1 to see, especially on these last few attack rounds, what they can bring into play. The problem, though, for T1, when we do get back into the game, is that economically, they're going to be in a little bit more trouble with what they can try and deal with. As they did lose that last round.
God, we're so smart, chat.
And haven't really been able to keep a lot of these rounds clean.
Alright, can we play now?
Problems. You know, looking back at the previous map, Spirit
As
Z1
much as I love playing board games
I'm
with you guys.
waiting to see his return to form in terms of those early duels. I'm going off
So,
memory here.
what do you guys think about my talk earlier?
That's usually
I said I might not stream
he was
anymore.
6-1 in opening duels, and you could feel it. Both himself and Ackerman finding so
Because
much
all this
space.
time I'm spending doing watch parties, I should be making videos.
So far, it feels like
But if I'm making videos, I can't pay attention to you guys, so my streams are kind of boring.
In a lot of these rounds, there's been well-placed
You know?
utility. You think about the slide up that Ackerman went for in the round that they won, because there was very efficient trades from Demon 1 right after. But he slid through, and there was an immediate flash from Izu, a swing from Buzz, and in terms of the utility,
How much longer? I have no idea.
down, then you think back to Stacks on those haunts and how much impact they were having on Lotus. It has felt like they have that little bit of an advantage in that aspect.
Oh, either way, it's going to be a little bit longer. So let's go back down with Lou to meet some of the
It's going to be a little
DRG
longer.
players.
Okay.
De retour pour vous jouer un mauvais tour puisque la pause n'est pas encore finie. On espère que ça va venir très vite effectivement et du coup j'ai Fida et Sasso qui
Yeah, but if I do stream occasionally,
and I'm now pleased to welcome
my streams aren't going to be at a size where
French fans to here in the arena, Fida and Sasso. And my first question is going to be very easy. We're in France, but you're supporting two Chinese teams. So how come is that?
it doesn't make sense for me to stream when I could always just make videos.
Donc pourquoi en France est-ce qu'on soutient des équipes qui viennent de si loin? Est-ce que vous avez suivi un petit peu la scène chinoise, pardon? Et qu'est-ce qui vous fait
And put
kiffer,
my
finalement?
face in my videos more often.
Alors moi, je soutiens la chaîne chinoise parce que je la regarde depuis presque plus d'1 an et c'est vraiment incroyable. Il y a vraiment très peu de monde qui la regarde et Kang il l'a dit l'année dernière. Vraiment, mettez-vous sur la chaîne chinoise.
Alright, well, I don't know how much longer this is going to go for.
Donc, je conseille à tout le monde de regarder la chaîne CN sur la chaîne de Kichi.
Oh, un petit shout-out à Kitty qui est en train de caster le match d'ailleurs. So why are you following the Chinese team?
Let's go raid
Following
Sliggy.
them since the very beginning, there's only a few streamers.
If I
who
stream,
are
it'll be
following them.
periodically.
Indeed, Kitty, for instance, who's currently
But,
catching the match in the arena. So yeah, as
Alright, I'm getting out of here.